What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me on this Baller Friday, a little bit late edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 632. I know yesterday at the end I said it was like 331 or something. No. Yesterday's episode was number 631. Today's episode is number 632. Okay? 632 is the episode number for today. It's Baller Friday, folks. It is October 26, 2018. We got a lot to talk about, folks. It's going to be another unconventional free-format edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast tonight. The reason that we were a little late tonight, folks, is because I wanted to make sure that everybody saw the president speak tonight. And once the president has already fulfilled his speech, I want to make sure that everybody's listening to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Now, before we get into anything, I'd like to ask everybody who's listening right now to spread this damn show around the internets and throughout the world like wildfire, okay? I mean, this is not a joke. I mean, we are witnessing some very political serious times, and I think that everybody needs to hear the goddamn truth, for Christ's sake. All right? Once again, spread this show link around like wildfire. The official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is the following, okay? Ghost.report. That's all you got to type in your browser, add to your bookmarks, add to your favorites. Once again, Ghost.report is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio show. And, of course, if you want to follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, that's on Gab, folks. If you don't have yourself a free Gab account, well, then go ahead and get yourself one. And once you do, go ahead and follow me under the name Politics Ghost. Okay, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab, folks. All right, and I want to say what's going on to everybody who's in here late night with me in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. What's going on? If you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you got to do, once again, go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and click the subscribe button for premium content, okay? And once you do that, there's like, forget about the test tier shit. It was a test tier, and I don't know, Gab, I can't erase it now. Don't fuck with the test tier that looks like an obnoxious number of money. I was fucking around with it. They added it as a option, and you can't fucking get rid of it now. I don't get it. Anyway, once again, once you hit up the premium subscription for $4.99, hook me up with a direct message on Gab. All right, direct message, of course, and let me know your Discord chat name once you do so, and then I'll hook you up with a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. That's how you get into the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Let me give some shout-outs before I get into anything else. What's going on to Hoodie? What's going on to Aesthetic? Billy Cossack, BP, Colonizing Shekels, Hans Uberlander. We got Herb Capitalist, Man Bear Pig, Mummy Yummy Lemons, Nationalist Master Race. We got Norm McDonald, Pepe the Frog, Stagio in the house. We've got Capitalist America, Holy Night in the place. What's going on to Prince? I know he's in the house. What's going on to the God of Rage? I know he's out there. What's going on to everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, man? Thank you guys for tuning in with me on this Baller Friday. Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead. I know that I should be covering the markets. I haven't covered the markets the last broadcast. I'm probably not going to cover them today because, first of all, it's a Baller Friday. The markets, as far as the stock market is concerned, I think that everybody should have anticipated by now that at any point, once we went over the threshold of 26,000, and what did I say in 2017? I said that this market was going to be bullish until the 2018 fourth quarter, and by God, it is the fourth quarter of 2018. And now we're seeing a little bit of a contraction because earnings aren't up to expectations. And to be honest with you, folks, this day's red in the stock market had nothing to do with any kind of earnings. It had everything to do with the fact that the economy has grown at 3.5%. So we are at a consistent 3% GDP growth. And because we have 3.5% GDP growth, we have investors out there that are, and I'm talking about institutional investors, that are getting a little wary, because the last thing we need right now is the Federal Reserve raising more interest rates. And even Kramer, the guy from CNBC, that idiot, even he's talking about it. He's talking about how the Federal Reserve raising interest rates is going to basically tell the future of what's happening in the stock market. And I'm glad the president is going after the Federal Reserve at this point. I've been saying this for a goddamn year and a half. There should be no reason why the Federal Reserve should be raising interest rates when we're just barely coming out of an 8-year recession that we've been trying to get out of with Barack Obama. No, the Federal Reserve gave Barack Obama cheap money. And that's when the president says cheap money, folks, that means you can literally borrow money for low interest. Anybody who took out a mortgage, anybody who took out any kind of credit, anybody who took out a car note during this time knows what I'm talking about. But now you've got the Federal Reserve in its most recent interest rate hike raised the interest rates 2 to 2.25%. And they're talking about raising it again before the new year. This is not what we need, especially when we're coming out of an 8-year recession, for heaven's sake. So anyway, let's just give it that synopsis with the stock market, folks, all right? I would try to start looking towards diversification. If you're in long-term stocks in which you're just going to keep until no matter what, remember, I always say long-term investment reigns supreme, and you're getting some generous dividends from them, you're getting something generous, you know they're always going to be around, they're good blue chip stocks, then I'd say go ahead and hold on to them. Unless you can see a play in which you can capitalize on it and potentially buy it back at a lower price or something, whatever. But either way, folks, everything in the stock market right now is pretty much bearish at this point. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, I called this a long time ago. Remember when I said that cash will be king? Cash is king right now. And I'm telling you, folks, in my personal opinion, I would strongly look at what's going on in the stock market. And remember, it has nothing to do with the fact that we're having a bad economy. We're having a great economy. Once again, 3.5% GDP growth today. We're at 3.5%. Constant 3% GDP growth on a quarterly basis. That is a full-fledged, hardcore economy there. We've got lowest unemployment. The employment markets are great. Consumer sentiment is great. There should be no reason why the Federal Reserve is raising these interest rates right now. I could understand if the Federal Reserve wanted to raise interest rates if we were going full-fledged economic productivity, massive 3-4% GDP growth for at least 2 years, so that the economy can mature, so that production qualities and production lines can get into sync, so that the employment sector can find a new bottom. When I mean bottom, I'm talking about bottom of unemployment rates, so that credit lines can get better. And there's a lot of factors in here, and I just think that the Federal Reserve, if you want my opinion, is trying to throw a monkey wrench into the engine of the Trump economy, and I really don't like it. Now, I'm only going to just get a little bit to that. I just wanted to let y'all know about that. Let me talk a little bit about the cryptocurrency markets, because there's a lot of things to talk about today, okay? Let's go ahead and talk about the cryptocurrency markets. Now, as you can see, folks, I called on the last show that I covered the markets on that we're seeing a steady $208, $209 billion market capitalization. And that's exactly what we're seeing it right now. It hasn't gone under about 208, 209. And that right there is a good sign, meaning that there's money in this market that isn't this pussified, neckbeard, dork, geek, I Bitcoin mined back in 2010 and now I think I'm cool asshole out here who are so impulsive to just go ahead and trade at any downturn whatsoever. It looks like the crossover that I talked about here last year, in which we were going to see institutional stock platforms integrate cryptocurrency into their platforms, is finally starting to come to fruition. We started seeing it in the Robinhood trading app application. It started integrating cryptocurrencies, rolling it out slowly but surely, I should say. We've got Fidelity Investments now integrating a cryptocurrency component into their investment platforms. And because we have so much more institutional money coming into the market, that's why, in my opinion, we are seeing a steady $208, $209 billion market capitalization. Now, with that being said, in that steady market cap, we are seeing massive fluctuations right now in the markets. And it's based on what, folks? When the U.S. dollar is high, when the U.S. dollar is strong, that means that these prices of cryptocurrency, the only way they're going to go up is based on what? It's based on news. And if you take a look at all the double digits or all the high digit percentage increases within the past several days in cryptocurrency, it all has to do with news. Now, unless the U.S. dollar, for some reason, contracts here in the near future, and I'm talking about contracts majorly, we're not going to see a massive increase in the market. Or we have to see more institutional investors or more people come into the cryptocurrency market to add market capitalization. So once again, I mean, I am optimistic in the cryptocurrency markets. I think once the true contraction of the stock market happens in the institutional investment side, when they have to realize, hey, I got to sell my stocks, where am I going to put my capital? They're going to start entertaining cryptocurrency at a massive scale, especially if we start continuously seeing these drops in the stock market. And the reason I suggest that is because where else are they going to put it? You can only put so much in gold and silver. You know, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You've got to diversify your investments. And cryptocurrency offers that opportunity. So, once again, folks, you know what cryptocurrencies I've covered. Every one that I've covered have always been a long term unless I say otherwise. And I strongly advise everybody, this is the time to get into cryptocurrency, especially if you're a young person. And, you know, you've got to, you don't even have to use money. If you've got yourself a badass graphics card, you could start mining it. If you've got, you know, if you want to get a Genesis-mining.com mining contract, you can mine it. I mean, you can acquire it by giving a service or product, etc. I mean, there's so many ways to obtain it. I don't care how you do it. Just get it and hoard it. Get it and hoard it, man. I mean, that's what I'm telling you, man. Long-term investment reigns supreme. And for you young people, I think people need to start recognizing that, hey, if I have some of this in my computer, if I have some of this in a cold storage wallet, you know, and I put it in a safe or something, man, I can bring this out and hopefully liquidate it in some capacity on a rainy day or spend it. You can actually spend it now. I mean, you can buy plane tickets with cryptocurrency. You can book hotels with cryptocurrency. I'm not even kidding around. You've got small islands that are begging cryptocurrency millionaires to go and move there so that they can create economies or flourishing economies in their little tropical islands. Look it up. Anyway, folks, if you're entertaining, once again, a Genesis-mining.com contract, go ahead and take a look at my Gab if you need a Genesis-mining.com link. They have sales on Dash contracts that are low as hell, folks, and I just think that, once again, Dash is at a very low right now. It's being widely accepted in South America and in the United States and elsewhere. Asia also accepts the coin as well in certain venues. Entertain the Dash contract on this particular Genesis-mining.com. In my opinion, I think that's the best option. It'll give you the most profitability. And if you're going to entertain a Genesis-mining.com contract, you got to use the discount code, baby. Everybody's got to use the discount code. And, of course, the discount code is WEA296. Once again, the discount code is WEA296. Now, with that being said, folks, let's go ahead. And we got through the cryptocurrency markets. I wanted to give people some insight about the markets. So now that that's out of the way, I want to be completely honest, okay? It's a Baller Friday. And before we get serious, before we start talking about all these really dark secrets of the black operations that are happening all around us, the false flags, and, all this deep talk, let's calm down for a second and let's celebrate Baller Friday. And for you folks that are new to the broadcast, Baller Friday is that day of the week where us capitalists look back at this week's wages, at this week's salaries, at this week's work, labor, success, and we bask in it. We bask in it in our favorite libation. And I'm going to be honest with you folks, I've got a drink tonight, all right? I got a drink. All the false flag crap, all this garbage they're trying to shove down our holes and trying to say that, oh, well, it just happens to have these fake-ass Tonka toy fucking bombs that are mailed to all the Democrats that were advocating violence. They just all happen to get one, and now we have to feel sympathy for them because they're now victims. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. You know what time it is right now for my Baller Friday. You know what time it is. It's time for more beer, baby! You're goddamn right! More fucking beer! Excuse my French, but it's a Baller Friday, and we've been false flagged enough. Alright? I'm sorry for you folks that are a little cross-eyed and perplexed. They're like, hey, Ghost, why do you have to drink, dude, if you're upset? I mean, why don't you just talk it out like the rest of us and pop a Prozac and, fluoridate your brain? And no! All right, look. All right, folks. I like to drink beer. In the great words of the Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, I like beer. I like beer. All right, said the great man Brett Kavanaugh, who is now sitting on the Supreme Court right now of the United States. I like beer. So, excuse me. I'm sorry, all right? Excuse the hell out of me that I'm a human being, all right? I'm a human being over here. I'm just a human being. Let's crack some goddamn beers open before we start getting into the deep talk out here. Before we start getting into the deep talk. Oh, man. I love to pour the beer into a glass. Beer in a glass, I don't know what it is, man. It gives me some kind of, I guess, satisfaction. Whenever I see a goddamn glass of beer and I see the bubbles bubbling up, you see that fucking white head there, keep your mind out of the gutter. But you know what I'm saying? It's great. It's just a beautiful sight. It's like, I'm about to be refreshed. I'm about to be refreshed. And not to mention a little bit of, inebriated, So anyway, let me go ahead and get this cracked open. I hope that you all are celebrating on this Baller Friday. I hope that you have your libation or whatever your vice is. It doesn't have to be drunk. It doesn't have to be any kind of alcoholic beverage, okay? What is it? It could be a pizza. It could be a gallon of Haagen-Dazs. It could be a whole pie and one fork, whatever it is. You take your vice and you bask in it, baby. You bask in it because no one else is. No one else is going to bask in it with you, baby. All right? Unless, you've got a good family around you and they love you and all that stuff. But even then, they're like, oh, hurry up, Dad. Just give me your fucking money, dude. Anyway, folks, I'm going to say, look at that beautiful glass. Look at that beautiful glass, baby. Anyway, I want to say cheers to everybody out there who's listening in. I know that right now I'm taking this show a little bit... I'm a little bit tongue-in-cheek at this point. I've got to, if you listen to the last broadcast, I was completely upset. I was livid, and I have every right to be, because I know what these Democrats are doing, and it's not just the Democrats, folks. I'm gonna be completely honest with you before I give this cheers to each and every one of you. It's also the DOJ and the FBI. You don't think the DOJ and the FBI have something to do with this? And why would I say that, folks? I say that because what I gabbed about 2 days ago, suggesting that this whole goddamn mail bombing nonsense was nothing more than a false flag, just to garner sympathy from all the Democrats. You notice it's all the Democrats and all the celebrities that have been advocating violence ever since the president has took office. All of them received a makeshift, a pathetic attempt at a bomb. It's so fucking... I can't believe that's supposed to fool somebody. It is. These are complete hoax bombs. But you know why it's being done. We've got less than 2 weeks away from the midterm elections, and the Democrats have no issues to run on. They have literally pushed forth this nonsense of pro-immigrant, pro-criminal, pro-sexualization of children, anti-American stance that is based in socialism, and they know, just based on, I'm sure, their own goddamn polling, I bet you their own questioning of certain focus groups, that they're starting to realize that they have a bad connotation. And you know what Democrats like to do? They know how to use the victim card. I mean, that's what they use to manipulate their people on their side. That's what they use to manipulate minority groups on their side, this victimhood. And now all of a sudden you have the left in concert with one another. If you've taken a look at some of these social media accounts of some of these leftist talking heads and mouthpieces, so to speak, they're all trying to say that, oh my God, these poor victims, they're victims. Look at them. It's a coordinated attack. They're even calling it the MAGA bomber. Can you believe that? On Twitter, on liberal-ass poshole Twitter? So look, I know what's going on here. I've been knowing. If you listen to the last broadcast, you know that I've been knowing what's going on. And I wanted to make sure that everybody who's listening, I know that maybe you're, hopefully those that aren't listening right now, hopefully you're banging some chicks or, out there at a bar with the boys or something, and you're not playing with your pecker shaft on a goddamn fucking video game, cartoon, or you know what dudes are doing now? Somebody told me this in the fucking True Capitalist Radio chat room today. You know what guys are doing now? Guys are getting together and they're playing Pokemon Go together in parks late at night. And supposedly chicks are going there. Fucking, are you kidding me? And we're wondering why our youth are a bunch of lonely fucking pocket pool players? Come on, man. Come on. Jesus Christ, man. Go to a social event, man, where women that are going... And you know what the excuse is by some of these guys? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sorry to go off on this tirade, but I have to, okay? The excuse that I have from some of these younger gentlemen is that they're afraid that they're going to have sexual harassment charges against them if they attempt to go up to a woman. I mean, this whole Me Too movement nonsense, they're actually afraid to go up to them. And I said, hey guys, listen, if they're at a bar, all right, especially in a place where the intention of being there is to socialize for beyond a social atmosphere, meaning like a club, a bar, someplace with alcohol, a concert, these types of places. I'm just giving examples. You can go up to them and approach them and ask them questions, and they can't say that you're being sexually harassing unless you're physically touching them or physically trying to hold them or something to that capacity. But these guys are legitimately scared that they're going to get sexual... These are young guys. These are like, anywhere from late teenagers to late 20s, Late, I can't believe this, man. I'm just saying, it's not that hard to meet women, man. I'm not trying to be some show-off. I'm just saying, it's not hard to meet women. Women they want to meet men more than men want to meet women. They just don't want to show it. And the reason is look, let me give you an example. Let me just tell you guys something, okay? Broads, you know how you judge a woman based upon their looks? Now, I know ladies are... probably you're going to get a little triggered by this, that, oh my God, Ghost is saying that guys base us on their look. Yes, they do. You do too, so shut your mouth. Well, there is a spectrum, right? The 1 through 10 spectrum, right? You judge a woman based upon 1 through 10. Now, what's unfortunate when it comes to most males today is that they believe, even though they're fat, jelly-ass, bloated pieces of trans-testicle-looking turd burglars, these people are just, absolute fruit bowl, fruity-ass, just this greasy hair, Pop-Tart crumbs in between their fingernails, just completely slovenly. These guys think that they deserve somewhere in the spectrum from 7 to 10, okay? I mean, and this is why many of these younger gentlemen, specifically you guys online, that's why you guys are alone, because you believe, even though you are a disgusting, double-chin, fat, bloated piece of greaseball, pimples on the face, pack of Franks for a fat in the neck, just disgusting, slovenly person, you think that you're just supposed to get like Kate Upton right when she turned 18 with the jiggly boobs and shit. I mean, that's the problem here. I mean, this is what I tell you, gentlemen, okay? Unless you have women just nonchalantly coming up to you that look in this 7 to 10 range and that are just talking to you, not trying to pick you up, because women don't try to pick you up. If a woman's trying to pick you up and they're like a 7 to 10, you better ask what's going on here. All right, what's the catch? Because there may be a trick. You may be the trick, whatever. But regardless, what I'm saying is that if women aren't going up to you that are 7 to 10, that are just coming up to you trying to talk to you, trying to make conversation with you, that sort of thing, if they're just not coming up to you like that in a frequent, habitual basis, then stop going after broads like that. That means you aren't attractive enough to make that kind of a judgment on a woman that you think that you deserve a 7 to a 10. All right? Unless you are an unbelievable capitalist and you're willing to take some of these 7 to 10s on a goddamn shopping spree at a mall or something. Then that's a different story, okay? But even then, that costs money, and I don't want to go down that road. I'm just telling you, you gentlemen out here, the reason you guys are alone, in my opinion, is because a lot of you guys literally believe that you deserve 7 to 10s, and you guys, with all due respect, are in the 1 to 4 category when it comes to men. Now, what am I saying to you guys out there? What I'm saying is that you, if you want to have at least some sort of female communication, some semblance of a girlfriend or boyfriend type of relationship, some kind of experience with another woman, maybe, just maybe, you should not go for the 7 to 10, okay? Like I was telling the gentleman in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, women that are 7 to 10, you know how hard it is for a woman to stay a 7 to 10? I mean, women got to stay in shape. They got to fucking exercise. They got to watch what they eat. They got to do their hair. They got to wear makeup. They got to buy nice shoes. They got to have nice purses. They got to make all these accessory makeup type of situations so that they can be a 7 to 10. And you mean to tell me that these women that go through all this work, trying to be a 7 to 10, want to be with you slovenly piece of fat jelly ass, fucking throwing fried food down your gullet like it's going out of style, piece of cheese whiz guzzling crap? No! So, you incels out there that are pissed off, that no women are playing with your wee-wee, you need to just take into consideration what I had just told you and apply that to your life, okay? It's not, hey, listen, it's your fault that you're a disgusting, slovenly piece of trash. Who needs to change that? You do. Well, Ghost, how do I change it? I don't know how to change myself. You know what you need to do? You need to stop being a fat, slovenly piece of greaseball garbage. All right? You need to change your look. You need to cut your hair. You need to shave your face. You understand? You need to get yourself some new shoes, some new threads. Get in with the now, and if you don't know how, then go to your nearest hair salon. Look for your prettiest looking faggot out there. I'm not kidding. You people think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Go to your nearest salon that costs a lot of money. Get the prettiest faggot, okay, that's doing his hair and doing his nails and shit, and tell him, look, I'm trying to look like a badass man out here. I'm trying to look like a man, like a fucking man's man. Can you help me? And he will help you. Because you know why that little Twinkie fag will help you to be a badass man? Because not only are you paying him, but he is going, these people, I shouldn't say fags, I should say gay men, okay? Gay men, that do this job, they take it seriously, and if you ask them for that type of help, they're like queer eye for the straight guy. They're like, oh, well, let me see. If I'm going to help you, I have to fix you like how I would want my masculine man to look like. What I would like a masculine male to look like, who would get my asshole puckered. I'm not kidding around. And you will thank me. I'm not kidding. You will thank me. All right? Because if you don't know how to do it, then you need to go get... you just think about this for a second. These movie stars, these rap stars, they have somebody on their payroll, all right, that are fashion experts and that are hair people and all this other nonsense, okay? So, don't think that anything that you see on TV or any rap star, that you don't think that they, by some miraculous natural occurrence, some organic occurrence, that they look like that because they thought all that ensemble looked good, okay? Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, man. And look, I'm going to tell you guys something. If you go for women that are from 1 to 5, okay, go up to women that are 1 to 5, you're going to have a lot better time in life, okay? I'm not kidding. You're going to have a lot better time in life, and I'm not saying that you got to settle down with these 1 to 5s, all right? I'm just saying, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? I mean, wouldn't you like to go out and just, have a couple of drinks and have some, 1 to 5 hanging on you? And believe it or not, once you have a 1 to 5 hanging on you, and there's a little confidence exuding at you, like out in the bar, you got this 1 or 5. For you guys that are just tuning in, I mean, the spectrum. How does a woman look? 1 to 10. I'm talking about 1 to 5. If you have a 1 to 5 hanging on you, and you're looking confident, and you're having a good time, and you're smiling, and she's hanging on you, I'm not kidding, 5 to 7s will look at you and become attracted to you because you are giving that 1 to 5 a good time. She's laughing. She looks like she's having the time of her life, and women like that. They want to take away other people's property, okay? I hate to say it, I'm not kidding around, and before you know it, when the 1 to 5 goes to the bathroom, you're going to have 5 to 7s coming up to you. Hey, how you doing? Who's that? Is that your girlfriend? I'm not kidding around. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to plant seeds out here. Come on, man. I'm sorry, man. Anyway, let me go ahead and just give a cheers here. Sorry about that long soliloquy, but I'm tired of these young gentlemen telling me that they don't bang women, or women aren't wanting their, I shouldn't say bang women, I'm sorry, but they're not out there commiserate. They're not trying to go after the opposite sex, okay? That's disturbing to me. That's disturbing to me. Anyway, let me go ahead and just take... I want to say cheers, first of all, to all the capitalists that are out there that are listening to me throughout the world, okay? Sorry if I sound a little informal today, but you all know what's dominating the political news right now, and I talked about it majorly in the last broadcast. I was fucking pissed off. I was livid. It's a Baller Friday. We're going to still talk about these subject matters. We're going to still talk about all the black operations. We're still going to talk about all this. But by God, I need some drinking, okay? I want to say cheers to everybody out there who's listening to the broadcast, once again, who's a capitalist, who's on the right wing of the political spectrum, who believes in America, who's on the Trump train. I want to say cheers to you all, folks, because there's not enough... I mean, there's a lot of us that are for Trump. There's not a lot of us that are leaders. And that's what this goddamn movement is missing. We have one leader, Donald Trump. And I'm hoping that he can inspire other leaders, but just taking a look at the alt-right, or excuse me, not the alt-right, the E-right-wing celeb. These internet right-wing celebrities, when you take a look at them, they're just a bunch of attention whores. A bunch of attention whores that are no different, with all due respect to them, I don't want to call anybody out, but they're no different than Bernie Sanders. I'm not joking. They're no different than Bernie Sanders or Beto O'Rourke, who are out here trying to feed rhetorical fodder to people so that they can buy their books, so they can buy their this, they can buy that. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on anybody's hustle, man. If you are trying to make a living for yourself or trying to make whatever it is that you're doing online feasible enough for you to do it on a more frequent basis, I understand that. But a lot of these people that are right-wing celebs are utilizing this as a means of gaining wealth. And I think that, you know, some of these right-wing celebs, man, need to realize that what you're doing here when you're trying to articulate a political stance, specifically on the right, that's not something for sale, man. That's something that should be really given away to people, have people understand. That's why I do this broadcast, man. That's why I give it away for free. That's why I give the information away for free. I mean, listen, they have already demonetized me to the point where this broadcast is pretty much a waste of time if anybody were to judge it on how much money this thing makes, okay? People think I'm wasting my time. I'm not wasting my fucking time, man. I know there's people out there, not just in this country, but in countries all over the world that recognize that capitalism and freedom is what truly is going to make a great society. And the only folks that are out here trying to advocate socialism and communism are those that want to take complete and total totalitarian power over our lives. And I refuse to allow them to do so. I refuse to allow them to do so. And I'm not just to the people in America. I'm talking about to the people worldwide. You need to take these ideas and you become the revolutionaries of your countries. You go out there if you can infiltrate the institutions of power. And if you can't, well then do the same thing that the leftists are doing to us over here, over there. Go out there and agitate your system. Go out there and expose the contradictions. Go out there and expose the hypocrisy of the people that are supposedly representing you. And it doesn't matter what country you live in. You need to figure out a way to manipulate your way, if necessary, into power. So once you're in power, you do the same thing Donald Trump's doing here in America. What is Donald Trump doing here in America? He's giving people opportunity. He's giving people an opportunity to get out of whatever socioeconomic strata that they're in. He's giving them the opportunity to get their asses out. And that's why you have black folk, even though you have all this slanderous, racist lies that are being perpetuated on the mainstream media on an everyday basis, black approval ratings with Trump has gone from single digits, which has always been single digits with every Republican presidential candidate, to now 35%, 36%. 35 to 36% black approval rating for Trump. And why is that, folks? Because these black folk understand that they don't want no handout that Barack Obama gave them and their family. Because that handout is not a step up. That handout is a chain of bondage. And if you dare make any money beyond that handout, they'll take that handout right away from you. And what is that? What does that do to anybody? It subjugates them into the position that they remain for as long as the power that's socialist is in power. Socialism and communism is a farce. It's a political romantic idea. And we need to convey that to those that are being bamboozled by it. Anyway, folks, my apologies. Cheers to everybody out there in the True Capitalist Radio listener community, man. I really appreciate you listening to me. And once again, sorry that the damn show started a little later today, but by God, I wanted to make sure everybody was listening to the president's speech. And you know, folks, you know that these Democrats, the deep state, all these people that have been anti-Trump, they're involved. And I'm going to explain this here in a little bit. Let me just take a couple of drinks and let's let loose. And we're going to talk about how not only is it the Democrats involved, but the deep state, the FBI, the DOJ, and I'm going to explain why in explicit detail. You know, and I know I will. So with that being said, let me say cheers here. Let me start drinking. All right, let me have a couple of drinks for Christ's sake. All right, cheers, man. Cheers to everybody out there who's a true American patriot and who is an anti-globalist. And by the way, did you know that once Donald Trump started announcing himself as a nationalist to America and that he was anti-globalist, he had been emphasizing that in his past several speeches, at his past several rallies, and then all of a sudden, this happens? Huh? Then all of a sudden, this stupid, ridiculous mail bombing happens? I'm just saying. Anyway, cheers, baby. Let me go ahead and chug some beer here. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. Once it hits your lips, it's so good, man. It's great. Oh! Like I said, in the great words of the Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, I like beer, baby. I like beer. Anyway, folks, I want to say thank you all for listening. I know that I've been somewhat erratic here lately with the broadcasts. But once again, we'll be back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I just want to let y'all know that yours truly's got a lot on his plate. And moreover, now that you have this midterm election and you've got the Democrats pulling off what they're trying to pull off, it's utterly disgusting. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what is in the news today. And what is in the news today, folks? Well, none other than this fictitious mail bomb horse shit. Now, of course, they found somebody that is supposedly the culprit behind these fake, ridiculous-looking mail bombs that supposedly were received by a plethora of different people and media outlets. All the Democrats who were advocating violence, they all received one. George Soros received one, etc. Oh, yeah, and by the way, this morning, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris received... I mean, get out of here, man! Now, the guy that is supposedly the culprit behind these bombings is a man by the name of Cesar Sayoc. Now, the Inner Circle, the True Capitalist Radio chat room have done some extensive research on Cesar Sayoc, and it almost looks to me, if you want my personal opinion, like a Rich Gannon, or not Rich Gannon, Jeff Gannon and Johnny Gosch situation. If y'all remember what I'm talking about, Jeff Gannon? Well, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, there was a man in the Bush Jr. press corps by the name of Jeff Gannon who was literally giving softball questions to the president at the time, George Bush Jr., and no one in the press corps knew where this guy came from, who he was. The publication was some kind of fictitious online publication that just came out of nowhere. Jeff Gannon. Well, somehow, obviously through haterism amongst the press corps, let's just put it that way, some journalist found an online posting, like an online advertisement of a naked Jeff Gannon on rentboy.com. On rentboy.com. Are y'all familiar with this? If y'all don't, just look up Jeff Gannon, Rent Boy, and you'll probably understand what I'm talking about. This guy was in the fucking press corps at the White House questioning George Bush whenever he was on there taking questions. He was asking questions to the press secretary, for Christ's sake. No one knew why he was there. No one knew why he was there or what publication he was with, whatever. But when they found out that this guy was on rentboy.com and advertising his gay sexual services, well, then that's when all of a sudden things started popping out about the guy. No pun intended, okay? In that Jeff Gannon would visit the White House late in the evenings for some reason. I'm talking like after midnight. These are all the White House logs. Jeff Gannon was also known to be a gay prostitute after the exposure of rentboy.com. So the Bush team kind of brush Jeff Gannon under the rug. But out came a woman who had her son kidnapped from her in the Midwest somewhere, and her son was named Johnny Gosh. And Johnny Gosh was a kid that got kidnapped while on his paper run in the Midwest. Got kidnapped. And his mother would receive things in the mail of Gosh as a teenage boy tied up in a bondage-like capacity. Now, what am I getting with this? What I'm getting with this is that and look, this woman said that Jeff Gannon was Johnny Gosh. Now, what I'm trying to suggest to you is that this guy, Caesar Sayoc, falls under this category, if you want my personal opinion. He falls under this category of somebody who is probably, because I can't find anything about this guy, and the things that we can find don't make any sense. He has a LinkedIn, I'm talking about Caesar Sayoc, he's got a LinkedIn advertisement or a LinkedIn profile that makes no sense whatsoever. It's as if he doesn't even understand English. It is a very bizarre ad. It's a very bizarre LinkedIn profile. But if you want my personal opinion, I think that the Jeff Gannon, Johnny Gosh situation, and look, I don't want to talk any more about that because we could probably be here all day talking about the Jeff Gannon, Johnny Gosh situation, but what has been speculated is that Johnny Gosh, when he was kidnapped, when Johnny Gosh was kidnapped, he was put into a situation where he was so sexually and physically abused that they manipulated his mind and brainwashed him into being like a gay sex toy for those that are in high positions of power that want to partake in homosexual activity but don't want to partake in homosexual activity with somebody who's going to sell them out. And believe it or not, folks, I know this sounds very, very bizarre and very outrageous, but this is not out of the question. I strongly advise you to do your own research on who Johnny Gosh was, who Jeff Gannon was, how Jeff Gannon was a part of the press corps in the White House, how Jeff Gannon was exposed as, having an advertisement on rentboy.com. I mean, this is all for real. Now, why am I suggesting that Caesar Sayoc is possibly part of this type of brainwashing? Because, folks, right here, let me go ahead and repost this on my Gab right now. What I'm reposting are photographs of Caesar Sayoc while he was a male stripper. Okay, and there's a fucking picture of him with assless chaps right here. He was a gay stripper during the early to mid-90s. Now, why am I even bringing this up and then bringing up the Jeff Gannon, Johnny Gosh situation? Well, I'm not just making the connection based upon the fact that this guy was some kind of a stripper. I can't, and nor can anybody in the inner circle find anything legitimate about this guy other than the weird narrative that he's been trying to basically write himself in the various online locations that he's put information about himself. And it doesn't make any sense. I strongly advise you to go take a look at Caesar Sayoc, the alleged mail bomber's LinkedIn account. It makes no sense whatsoever. It sounds like somebody that is literally on acid wrote whatever the hell that. I'm not kidding around. It doesn't make any sense. Now, if you take a look at my Gab, folks, those are the pictures of Caesar Sayoc as a stripper. Now, where was Caesar Sayoc found? He was found homeless, living in a white van in Broward County. Now, I would strongly advise you all to just Google Broward County, and I'd like for you all to count how many child molestations, child sexual abuse articles you're going to find, how many child sex rings you're going to find out of Broward County. And lest we forget that Broward County is the same place and the same location of the Parkland shooting. The Parkland school shooting. You remember that false flag? The same place. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up, folks, is because this is not a coincidence. If you, for all you math people that are out there that are mathematicians, they got fucking masters and doctorates in math, what are the odds that Broward County, all right, in Florida, is the center of 2 incidents within the past, 2 years? That have drawn massive terrorist attention. I mean, what are the odds of that? What are the odds? That's why I'm telling each and every one of you, just Google Broward County and take a look at all the child sex abuse articles. Take a look at the child sex rings that are being busted out there. What's going on out there in Broward County? What's going on? How come we're here again? Parkland shooting. They found this guy living in a van. Living in a van, in a white van. And conveniently enough, did you see the media focus itself on that van, fixated? I mean, I saw media outlets like it was the fucking OJ AC fucking chase. You remember that? AC and OJ with a fucking Bronco and shit? I mean, that's how they were tracking this stupid van as it was being towed away. And what did they focus on? All the stickers that were all over this homeless man's van, which was what? Pro-Trump stickers, Hillary Clinton conveniently with a target on her face. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Are we supposed to believe this? And by the way, did you see the press conference by none other than the enemies of Donald Trump himself? This ridiculous snake, this establishment scumbag, Jeff Sessions, who is the Department of Justice Attorney General, and Christopher Wray, who's the director of the FBI. Did you see what they were trying to say? Well, this was a coordinated effort, and it took multi-facets, and this is not going to be tolerated. And you know what they tried to say? They tried to say that these fucking fake bombs were actually real, and that they could have exploded. Folks, first of all, I don't know if you've seen the photos of these bombs, specifically the one that came from CNN, and the ones that have been pictured. Haven't you noticed the bomb was out of the bag? And if you take a look at the manila envelope that the bomb was set in, if you take a look at the stamps, there's no markings on the stamps as if it went through any kind of processing. Secondly, if someone was going to build a bomb that blew up, wouldn't you think that one of them would have worked? If they're going to go through the time, effort, energy to do what they did, not one of them worked. You want to know why none of them worked? Because they were fake. It was a fictitious bunch of nonsense. You know that? It's a fictitious bunch of nonsense, man. And anybody who believes this just don't know their ass from their elbows, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, I'm not joking around. I mean, give me a fucking break. I mean, are we going to believe this crap? And you know what Christopher Wray, the FBI director, said? He said that there's more than one culprit. There's more than one culprit? I mean, you mean to tell me that this guy that was living in a van in Broward County, of all places, had help? He had help doing this? I mean, that this guy's involved in some kind of a fucking grand cabal. He's living in a goddamn van. And this is ridiculous. And this is why, if you want my personal opinion, just based on the damn press conference that the FBI and the DOJ gave today, it seems to me that they're complicit in this, if you want my opinion. Because lest we forget, folks, what are we not focusing on since the media is focusing in on this ridiculous false mail bomb? So, I mean, what are they not focusing on? They're not focusing on the fact that you had George Papadopoulos today testify in front of the goddamn House Judiciary Committee, basically exposing what I have suggested the whole time, that Papadopoulos was set up, and that stupid, ridiculous professor that he met in Italy was nothing more than a plant, and that what? Britain, the Brits may have had something to do with this, like I've always said. We're missing the fact that there's a lot of things that are not being focused on. Did you know, and I don't mean to get international here, but did you know that supposedly the United States, which we did, but they're not covering this. You want to know why we're not covering this? Because the globalists are in charge of the fucking media. That's why they're not covering this. But Vladimir Putin yesterday got pissed off because United States drones, 13 of them, literally demolished a Russian airbase in Syria yesterday. Did y'all read about that? Did y'all hear about that? I bet you didn't. And why is the president doing this? Because I have told you since 2016. I have told you since 2016 that the goddamn fucking Russians, and especially Putin, is at the bottom of globalism. They're at the bottom of fucking globalism, for Christ's sake. And those that disagreed with me at the time, they would say, Ghost, what are you talking about? He's a Russian nationalist, dude. You're not understanding. He's a Russian No, he's fucking not. If he was a Russian nationalist, he would not have acknowledged the United Nations, which Trump has now disavowed. He would not, and let me tell you, Vladimir Putin acknowledges not only the United Nations, he acknowledges the World Court, he acknowledges all these international institutions. And that should tell each and every one of you that he's not a nationalist. Trump has put his nationalist balls on the table, and he has denounced the United Nations. He has denounced the World Court. I mean, come on, man. Come on! But anyway, back to the point. The whole reason why I brought this up is because while everybody is focused on this ridiculous, this fucking false flag mail bomb, nobody's hearing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's hearing that. I mean, look it up for yourself, man. Yesterday, Russia got attacked by the United States, baby. We're out there flexing nuts to the New World Order. I mean, you don't understand, folks. What's happening right now are black operations right before your eyes. These assholes that were all targeted by the so-called mail bomb, they're all globalists. Aside from them advocating violence towards Trump, they're all pro-globalist. They're all open borders. They're all, the consolidation of power. That's what these people, all of them. And now they want to have sympathy brought upon them because supposedly some nutcase who, with all due respect, I mean, it looks rather suspicious to me, this Caesar Sayoc, who lives in a fucking van in Broward County, of all places, is supposedly the culprit. And, I strongly advise you, like I said before, take a look at the press conference with Christopher Wray and Jeff Sessions. Remember, both these guys are against the president. The president knows that Jeff Sessions, the FBI, they are against him. Why? Because the president has already exposed these goddamn institutions for being politically partisan. I mean, lest we forget Bruce Orr from the Department of Justice, Rod Rosenstein from the Department of Justice. Lest we forget the FBI corruption with James Comey, McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page. I mean, this is pure corruption here. And you mean to tell me that these guys are going to come out and claim that, yeah, we've got somebody and you got to believe us. All right, we got somebody. You have to believe us now, okay? Get the hell out of here, okay? This is a false flag. Nobody believes this, okay? Nobody believes this crap. And if you do believe it, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, you're a moron, and you should have your voting rights stripped from you, for Christ's sake, if you believe this false flag. Good God. And look, people are literally leaving comments to the Caesar Sayoc stripper photo that I gabbed here, and they're calling him a faggot. They're saying my gaydar is sounding an alarm. Why do you think I brought up Jeff Gannon and the Johnny Goss situation in relation to whoever this guy Caesar Sayoc is? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? I mean, that's the same question they were asking about Jeff Gannon before they brushed him under the fucking rug. And Jeff Gannon had access to the goddamn White House press corps, man. He was one of the guys asking questions to the fucking press secretary. He came out of nowhere. They found him on redboy.com. I think, in my opinion, Caesar Sayoc, some guy that's coming out of nowhere, sounds a lot like a Jeff Gannon, in my opinion. I mean, none of his shit makes sense. Look, let me read to you what he has on his goddamn LinkedIn account. This is Caesar Sayoc, okay? Caesar Sayoc's LinkedIn. This is what it says. He says that he graduated from Brevard College, North Carolina, University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Here's what it says. Listen to this, okay? Career decision of becoming a horse doctor was always a love for animals, which were here first and never did anything to anyone, and respect all living things. My family, very sound Sayoc name in medical field, grandfather Colonel Balatzar Zook Sayoc, that perfect the conversion Oriental eye to American eyes. The first plastic surgeon to be observed by 8 million people in a New York City hospital. He overthrew communist Philippines liberated island. He built all hospitals in Philippine Islands and set standards highest level. Most surgeons use his instruments, which are patent, and a lot of surgeons use today. Also, Sayoc International School Martial Arts Kali that used to overthrow Communist Party. Also, 1-5 Heroes Disciplinary, my mother, Madeline Sayoc Grillardo, or Grillardo, whatever the fuck. First President, Pharmacy Cosmetic Association, Hoo Business Women of the Year, Sole Buyer Consultant for Home Shopping Network, Head #1 Marketing Console in World Aventura Marketing Console, up for City Council Women Aventura. Did anybody make any kind of sense with the fucking word salad that I just fucking said to you that is this guy, this fucking Caesar Sayoc's fucking LinkedIn account? Huh? Did anybody get that? Good God. Let me go ahead and take some more beer, for Christ's sake. I'm telling you, man, it doesn't make any sense. That's why you know this whole goddamn thing is a false flag, man. It's a complete false flag. And we're back at Broward County again? Broward County? Good God. I can't believe people believe this shit. Anyway, we're 4 minutes into the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and once again, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I want to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, and let everybody you know, let them all know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Type this in your browser, add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites, the following, ghost.report, okay? Ghost.report, it's as simple as that. Add that to your bookmarks, add that to your favorites. That is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. All right, spread it around like wildfire. And of course, if you want to follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, all you've got to do is follow me on Gab, folks. And if you don't have yourself a Gab account, Well, then go and get yourself a free one, and once you do, follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And I want to say what's going on to everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. How you guys doing, man? Once again, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I will be in the chat room chilling with everybody in there after the broadcast, okay? I will be in there chilling, voice chatting, kicking back. So if you want to come kick back with us, all you've got to do is go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and click the subscribe button for premium content, okay? And forget about the test tier, okay? Don't worry about the test tier, all right? Just subscribe to the more common sense one. Forget the test tier, and once you do that, go ahead and private message me on Gab. Once you subscribe to the premium content, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, because that is where the True Capitalist Radio chat room is located, Discord. And I will private message you back with a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple, all right? Anyway, now that we got that all out of the way, I just want you all to know that if you believe that this whole mail bombing is actually real, then you got a few screws loose, okay? We've discussed why I believe it's a false flag, aside from the whole goddamn bomb being a ridiculous attempt. I mean, it didn't even look like a bomb. Bomb Boy, remember Clock Boy? I mean, you know, that's the difference, huh? These politicians get sent what Clock Boy got invited to the White House for, and what, now Caesar Sayoc is going to go to jail? I mean, Caesar Sayoc should use that as his defense. He should be like, hey, look, I was just showing these guys some nice clocks. I wanted to show them my clocks, just like Clock Boy. You know, remember Clock Boy? That fucking stupid goddamn Arab. And by the way, you know why Clock Boy did what he did. I mean, it was a payoff. I mean, look, folks, I'm not kidding around. You can all look this up for yourself. Clock Boy's father actually ran for president in Sudan. And he was beaten by al-Bashir. And because of that, he was pretty much, kind of ran out of the country. So what did he do? Of course, because Barack Obama is in power, found his way to the United States, okay, and threw his son into the ring of fire, showing this fucking stupid clock bomb. It was obviously a bomb, but whatever. And then Clock Boy gets arrested. And then, lo and behold, Barack Obama invites this stupid kid to the White House. This stupid kid has a GoFundMe account. He did the whole 9 yards. He's given all kinds of money. He's given a fucking scholarship, all this crap. And you know what that money is going to be used for, or it's being used for right now? So that this asshole Clock Boy's father can eventually run for office in Sudan once again, because now they're not living in America anymore, folks. He went back to the Middle East right after he got that payoff and used his son to do so. He went back to the Middle East. He's now living in Qatar. He's living in Qatar now, and you all know that Qatar is having its own problems with Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and so forth. So I'm just saying, you people need to understand that everything has something to do, like these fucking incidents that you see on national television. It's not put there by accident. I hope that you all understand this now. It's not just put there by accident. I mean, how in the hell did we not hear on a mass scale that the Trump boys got powder delivered to them in their personal mail? That their wives, I'm talking about Eric and Donnie, their wives opened up these damn envelopes, white powder in their face. They had to be rushed to the hospital. How come we don't hear about this? How come this wasn't some major mainstream news? Look it up. It happened. Look it up. Of course, the media is not going to focus on it because, folks, the media at this point, you have to realize that it's not about Democrats with the media anymore. The media is a globalist system. They are pro-globalist. Now, why would the media want to be pro-globalist? Because, folks, take a look at CNN specifically. CNN has got offshoots all over the world. There's CNN Europe. There's CNN Africa. There's CNN South America. They've got all these branches all over the world, so they have a vested interest in promoting globalism. So do all the other networks that are pro-globalists. They have offshoots of their own network all over the world, man. They don't make their money exclusively here. They make some of their money here, but for the most part, people are watching their own their own variants of CNN all over the world. And that goes for these other goddamn networks, the NBCs, the ABCs, the CBSs. This is why these people are so pro-globalist. Why is Hollywood so pro-globalist at this point? Because most of Hollywood right now, folks, is owned by China. Go ahead, Google China buys Hollywood or something to that effect, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's why you have so much staunch anti-Trumpism in Hollywood, aside from the fact that Trump has been trying to expose a lot of the goddamn child pedophile rings all over the country and has been trying to expose the pedophilia amongst these affluent groups who partake in it. And if you don't believe me, I mean, that's one of the most underreported things that have been taking place during the Trump administration. All these child sex rings that have been busted. You don't hear about that. And by the way, folks, you don't hear anybody blaming Bernie Sanders because Steve Scalise got shot when he was practicing for that congressional baseball game. And by the way, folks, why was Scalise targeted? Why was Scalise targeted? Because Scalise was spearheading the goddamn investigations and the crackdown on child pedophilia and the child sex rings. You don't believe me? Look that up! Look that shit up! You know what, folks? I'm telling you the fucking truth. I'm telling you the unadulterated, straight political dope out here that nobody's gonna fucking tell you. The realism of the world is a harsh place. And believe me, Trump knows all this. Trump knows all this. He was at the top, bro. This guy was he was a part of the elites. He was a part of the elites. I mean, he had no reason to go against the elites at this point. He had no reason. He could have been a pro-globalist and been a fat cat for the rest of his life, his fucking son's lives, his daughter's life, etc. He went against the global institutions. He went against the elites. And that's why he has such vehement hatred. That's why he has death threats. That's why this guy has literally not only put his own life at risk, but he's put his family's life, his legacy, his wealth, etc. I mean, look, I don't ever say anything that you folks can't look up. And that's why I like doing a broadcast on the internet, because, you know, if you think I'm wrong, look this shit up. It's all documented. It doesn't matter what fucking goddamn stupid dumb publication you look at either. Fucking New York Times, Washington Post, they're all reporting this shit. Good God. And by the way, folks, while we're talking about this fake bomb fucking psyop bullshit, guess what news is being kind of overlooked? And conveniently, this man that I'm about to talk about, this fruit bowl, ethnically ambiguous ass crack, I'm talking about Senator Cory Booker, this asshole conveniently got a bomb today. Can you believe that? Cory Booker got one of his fake bombs in the mail. How convenient. You want to know why? Take a look at this repost that I'm reposting on my Gab right now. Take a look at my repost. Cory Booker, the man who said during the Kavanaugh confirmation that, quote, all sexual abuse allegations should be believed, now has a sexual abuse charge against himself. And you know what? You don't hear the media talking about Cory Booker being accused of sexual assault, do you? And by the way, the person accusing him is a liberal Democrat, and he's a man. Oh, he's a man! He is a man! We always knew that Cory Booker was a little bit of a fruit bowl. I mean, just listen to the way the guy talks. Listen to the way he overacts, for Christ's sake. Every time he tries to sound sentimental, Cory Booker sounds like some teenage kid in a theater arts play or some shit. Some over-indicating, disingenuous, ethnically ambiguous, self-centered piece of trash. Now, I'd like to know when the hell Cory Booker is going to step down, since he and the Democrats have re-established a moral line that he tried to apply to Brett Kavanaugh. He himself specifically, remember? Oh, this is my Spartacus. And only a faggot would fucking invoke Spartacus, for Christ's sake. You fucking Vin Diesel ripoff. Fuck you, Cory Booker. And go suck fucking Spartacus's cock, you fucker. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I fucking can't stand this idiot. I can't stand Cory Booker, for Christ's sake. What are you people in New Jersey smoking? Electing this stupid moron, for Christ's sake. I'm serious. What are you people smoking? Man, you're smoking some ethnically ambiguous crack or some shit, for Christ. And you know something? The thing about Cory Booker, he's so ethnically and sexually ambiguous, you don't know whether he's straight, you don't know whether he's gay, you don't know whether he's black, you don't know whether he's white, even though he likes to claim he's a black man under certain social constructs. But believe it or not, folks, guess what his religion is? Guess what Cory Booker's religion is? He's Jewish! He's Jewish! Supposedly he's a Jew! Can you believe that he was the head of whatever Jewish little organization at Oxford University? Huh? So if you're talking about a disingenuous piece of trash, and you look up disingenuous piece of trash in the dictionary, you're going to see this ethnically ambiguous idiot's cue ball head just staring right at you. I'm talking about Cory Booker, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ, man. It makes me sick, man. It makes me sick. Now, when is Cory Booker going to fucking be removed? When is Cory Booker going to step down? Remember, he set this standard to Brett Kavanaugh. But, of course, nothing can ever touch the Democrats, right? They're always projecting. That's what the fucking Democrats are beautiful at doing. They project what they're actually doing on you before they get caught actually doing it. I mean, it's classic Democrats. I want Cory Booker to be removed from the Senate since he decided that he was going to have some kind of moral standard that was supposed to be obliged by the Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh, now the Supreme Court Justice. I mean, he was the one that said that all people who say that they've been sexually assaulted should be believed. Remember, that's what the Democrats were saying? And you see, you're not hearing this on the mainstream media, are you? You're not hearing the type of coverage that you saw that stupid, dumb, lying bitch, Christine Blasey Ford. You're not hearing that type of goddamn media coverage, folks. And the reason I bring this up is because I am trying to prove to you that this media is a globalist edifice. It does not care about America. It has no fucking loyalty to America. They want globalism. They have no vested interest in America, folks. That's what I keep telling you. That's why they're so anti-American. That's why they're spreading fake news. That's why the president is calling them out on their fake news. The president is trying to create America great again, trying to make us a superpower, a formidable adversary to this globalist edifice that's trying to take away our sovereignty, and that's why everyone is trying to stop the president. And that's why this election, this 2018 midterm, is so goddamn important, man. Why do you think these Democrats are going for broke with this fake mail bomb horse shit? Because not only do they have nothing to run on, look at all these things that are in the news that could be a hit on many of their so-called golden children of the Democratic Party. I mean, I just talked about how Cory Booker has been accused of a sexual assault by a liberal Democratic gay man. You're not hearing that. You're not hearing about any of the news of the caravan. Remember, we got a caravan trying to invade our country that has amassed almost 20,000 people, and they're headed right towards the United States-American border. And remember, the reason they don't want you to hear about the caravan is because these morons, the Democrats, thought by exploiting the emotion of the immigrant children. Remember that? Oh, you're separating the immigrant children. I can't believe you, Trump. How could you? That didn't get any traction politically. And now that they have got this migrant caravan coming to the United States, the majority of the people in America are viewing the caravan as an invasion of our country. So they don't want to talk about none of this stuff, especially 2 weeks away from a midterm election. So what better way to be able to manipulate the minds of Mr. and Mrs. Joe Sixpack than to coordinate this ridiculous false flag of fake fucking bombs being mailed to supposedly the same people who have been advocating violence on the right since the president has been elected. I mean, do you understand what they're trying to do here, right? I mean, there's so many people involved with this false flag, it gives everybody cover. It gains sympathy for the Democrats who were advocating violence in the first place. It throws cover on how corrupt the fucking Department of Justice and the FBI truly are. I mean, these are corrupt entities. And if you want my opinion, I think the FBI should be disbanded at this point. The FBI has been completely weaponized, and it has too much power over the American people when it should be protecting the American people. I'm not kidding around, man. I mean, I think that the FBI should be completely disintegrated. And we'll just let the Department of Homeland Security take over where the FBI was supposed to, because this is a corrupt organization. You even have old FBI agents saying the same thing. You've got old mobsters. Frankie Francesi, man, I saw him in an interview. Francesi said that even during his day, when he was a fucking mob killing people, that the FBI wasn't this corrupt. And that's what made the FBI, that they weren't corrupt. They weren't corruptible. You know, they weren't partisan. They stood for whatever was the law. Now you've got the fucking FBI thinking they're above the law. And take a look at Christopher Wray today. I strongly advise you, take a look at that press conference with Jeff Sessions and Christopher Wray. It is disgusting. It's disgusting. And Christopher Wray suggested that there are other culprits in this fucking fake bombing. It's fucking fake. It's false. It makes me sick. And this guy, this Caesar Sayoc, who lived in a white van in Broward County, Florida, had help. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm sick. Get out of here. Get out. Jesus Christ. Give me some freaking beer. I can't believe people even are trying to pull this off and trying to pass it off as if it's a real event. I can't believe the media and even the guys that are running this black operation, I can't believe they think that we're this stupid, man. We're this fucking idiotic, for Christ's sake. I mean, God, it pisses me off. These fucking fuckers, man. God! Anyway, look, I'm going to calm down here, okay? I'm going to calm my ass down. Jesus Christ, it just pisses me off. I'm so pissed off right now, folks. I'm just upset because I can't believe that we live in such a corrupt country that these morons think that they can get away with this kind of crap. The gall of these people, man. And by the way, I'd like to ask everybody once again, who is Caesar Sayoc? We can't find anything on this guy. His LinkedIn account is a fucking word salad that no one can decipher, for Christ's sake. It makes no fucking sense. Who is this guy? Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, look, I'll tell you what we're going to do on this free format edition, man. Hold on. Let me take a shot first. All right? Let me take a goddamn shot. Now, I don't have a shot glass in here, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take it right out of the fucking bottle, all right? Now, I was shooting shots the other day of some Chivas, and I'm just going to right out of the bottle, all right? This right here is to all the patriots in America. It is time for you to realize that it's no longer time for you to stay on the sideline. It's time for you all to get on the front lines, and the front lines are right outside your goddamn door. You got to convince as many people as you can. Use your influence to the fucking 100th power to make sure that you can get people out there to the polls and make sure that this is a red wave. The future of the country, the future of the economic success of this country depends on it. It depends on it, for Christ's sake, man. Anyway, I want to say cheers to all you fucking patriots out there on this Baller Friday, man. I mean, listen, man, you have to put it in your head that these globalists aren't going to take our sovereignty away, all right? Doesn't matter how hard they fucking try, they're not going to do it. So cheers. Good stuff, man. Chivas Blue Label, baby. Chivas Blue Label. I'm almost done with my beer. Hold on. Let me chug the beer since I already had a shot. You know what time it is, right? You know what time it is on this Baller Friday, right? More beer! You goddamn right! It's time for some more fucking beer. Especially in these fucked up weirdo times that we're living in, for heaven's sake. Caesar Sayoc. You know that's a fucking made up name. You know that, in my opinion, I mean, his name is Caesar Sayoc. I mean, that almost sounds like see your psyop. I see your psyop. I mean, Caesar Sayoc. I see your psyop. Just saying. Here, I just popped open a beer here. Oh, by the way, I'm drinking beers 2 at a time. I got a big ass fucking glass. You know, that's the way men should be drinking beers, man. 2 at a fucking time, man. Not out here nursing a beer. There's nothing worse that I hate in the world than some guy at a fucking bar nursing a beer. You know, just babysitting it like it's his kid or some shit. The fuck out of here. Drink your goddamn beer. Be a man about it, boy. Here's another fucking beer. Goddamn right. Fucking men out here. Where are the men at, for Christ's sake? Let's fill that up to the top. Let me tell you something, man. I'm filling myself up with piss and fury right now, and take a look. You know, you guys, I don't monetize this show very much, except for the True Capitalist Radio chat room, which I always try to go in, I always try to hang out. We have movie night. As a matter of fact, we're going to have another movie night this Saturday, baby. All right? True Capitalist Radio chat room is going to have another damn movie night. It's Halloween weekend. We did see last weekend Rosemary's Baby, and let me tell you, everybody freaked out after seeing that movie. Because I was trying to tell the guys at the time that the Rosemary's Baby, it was made in the 60s. It was made by Roman Polanski. Now, I'm not a advocate of Roman Polanski. I think that what he did was obviously horrible and he should be in jail, but I want y'all to know something about Roman Polanski. Now, Roman Polanski thought that he was one of those artists. You know, he thought that he had the same carte blanche as as a Stanley Kubrick. You know, Stanley Kubrick had a lot of carte blanche in the production studios. I mean, he could do whatever he wants. Same thing with Roman Polanski. So he made this movie, Rosemary's Baby. Now, I don't want to tell you all the movie because if you see it, it will freak you out. But he was trying to tell you what it was as it pertained to the Satanists that rule this world. I'm not kidding. Now, lest we forget, after he made that movie, the Manson family showed up at his house and killed his pregnant wife, Sharon Tate. Remember, he was with Sharon Tate, the hottest woman alive at that time, Sharon Tate. Killed his wife and 2 other people that were in the goddamn, or I think a few other people. I think it was like 3 or 4 people. But he killed his pregnant wife. And remember, they took his kid out of the womb and hung it by its neck on some kind of all this shit, all right? Remember, they took the blood of Sharon Tate and set all this weird shit all over it, pigs and, pentagrams and helter-skelter and all this other stuff? Now, why do I bring this up? Well, that was obviously some warning to Roman Polanski, and it wasn't but a few years later, after that Manson situation where it killed his wife and his daughter, his unborn kid, I should say, his unborn kid. It wasn't but a few years later is when, if you want my opinion, he decided that, look, okay, you guys are evil. You guys are evil, and I just want to be a part of this, or whatever the case might be. I'll do whatever you want. And, if you want to be a part of Hollywood, it's obvious that you have to partake in pedophilia. I mean, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you want to be popular in Hollywood, that's what you do, and that's what they told him to do. And instead of allowing him to be successful after doing what Hollywood told him to do, they decided to use it against him. And I think that he did do it. I'm not trying to say he didn't do it. I think he did do it. But I think he did it because he thought that, because everybody else in Hollywood did it, that it would sustain his continuity as some badass director. And that's why, if you want my opinion, there's so many people that are like, no, Roman Polanski, it's okay, and all this other crap. Okay? So anyway, I think that he should be in jail, but what I'm trying to tell you is that this guy tried to play a game. He tried to expose certain secrets, and that's what we were talking about in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. We were talking about that as the movie was going, as the movie was going, for Christ's sake. Now, I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of a heads up that when things happen, things don't just happen. It's not just a coincidence. Especially things that just overtake the mainstream media. Things that are just all over the mainstream media. The mainstream media, you have to understand, before it becomes news on the mainstream media, it has to go through a gatekeeper process. It has to go through a process with the person that covered the story or got the story, to the producer, to the executive producer, to the final gatekeeper of who is going to make the decision on it going on the air or off the air. And that obviously has been corrupted, folks. So whatever you see on mainstream media is pretty much there because it's meant to be there, in my personal opinion. But if you just look at mere observation, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, folks, let me continue on. And I do want to say, look, I don't monetize this show much, okay, folks? I really don't. But I am going to put up the number. If anybody wants to call in right now, it's 99 cents a minute. You will be on the air. It's kind of like, the whole super chat kind of thing, Streamlabs kind of thing for these YouTubers. If you want to call in right now, you can call in 1-800-685-7914. Okay, the number again is 800, not 1-800, 800-685-7914. If you call in, it'll be 99 cents a minute. You got to, type in your credit card. And it's only for the United States. Okay? It's only for the United States. I'm sorry for the chaps that are out there in Australia and the UK and in all over the world. My apologies, just for the United States callers. But we're going to open up the phone lines, and we're going to see what happens. And you can just call in right now. Once again, 800-685-7914. 99 cents a minute. You could say whatever the hell you want on the air, especially you folks that think that I'm wrong. You think that, I'm loco. Some of you people that want to add something to the broadcast, if you want to plug something, hook it up, man. We got thousands of people listening. Believe it or not, we've got... What's funny about this broadcast is that there's like, Jesus Christ, like at least 20 different chat rooms all over the internets that have 100, 200 people in each one of them that actually listen to a simulcast in these chat rooms. So, I mean, that's what's so unique. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are listening to the underground. 99 cents a minute, once again. And by the way, I mean, I've seen people use text-to-speech chat. Text-to-speech chat at $5. So give me a fucking break, all right? Anyway, I want to say cheers. I'm having a great Baller Friday here, and I'm drinking, man. And look, we're just clowning the deep state right now. We're clowning the Democrats. We're clowning these black operations that they think that they're going to fucking pull over us, and then we're actually going to believe it. All right, get the hell out of here. All right. Get out. And I'm sorry, hey, it's only U.S. The 800-685-7914 number is only for the U.S. I'm sorry, Maine. Sorry, Maine. Anyway, cheers to everybody out there. Let's continue drinking, for Christ's sake. It's Friday. It's Baller Friday, for Christ's sake. Anyway, after we've talked about this Cory Booker asshole... And by the way, everybody should gab at this, tweet, because he's on Twitter. Everybody should be tweeting at Cory Booker and telling him to step down. Hashtag him too, because look, remember, I was waiting for gays to start doing this sexual harassment thing. I was waiting for gays. Remember, I was like, how can gays, claim sexual assault? If I went up to, some gays... in a gay club or something, and I started, or not, I wouldn't be in a gay club, but in a gay aisle or something, like a gay road out here in San Hambonio, believe it or not, out here in San Hambonio, they got a place called Main Street, and Main Street is literally all gays. The whole goddamn thing is gays, okay? It's all gays. As a matter of fact, you could probably find an article in which Main Street actually use city money to paint fucking rainbows on the crosswalks over here in San Hambonio, okay? But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, I was wondering if I could go out there and slap a gay ass, will I be charged with sexual harassment or some shit? I always wondered that shit. I always wondered. Always.
You are now connected. Say hello.
Hey, what's going on? You're on the air.
Hey.
What up, man?
How you doing?
I'm chilling.
On the air?
Yeah, you're on the air right now. Go ahead, man.
Oh, well, Ghost, why are you drinking so much? You've been telling us all that, alcoholism and alcohol kills people. But you're doing shots live on the air. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, well, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. It's hard to stop. You know that quitting alcohol is one of the most dangerous things to do. It's even more dangerous than quitting heroin.
Well, I understand, you haven't had a seizure yet or a heart attack or anything bad like that.
Yeah, but I've been having panic attacks, man. My chest has been hurting, believe me, I've been thinking I'm going to die many times. Panic attacks suck, dude.
Yeah, you wake up with cold sweats and the whole 9 yards. I know what it's like. I used to be part of your, your Discord chat room until finally, I had enough with all the internet trolls and everything, and I figured this is the best way I can monetize your show, just call it in, saying, I've still been listening for, years at this point, and, I'm drinking too.
Well, cheers to that. But I mean, look, I'm sorry that I know I've said a lot of things that hey, I'm gonna quit and whatnot. But just slowly wean yourself off, man. Just slowly wean yourself off.
What's the best thing capitalists can do, with the midterms coming up and everything that's going on in the media and in the news? I mean, honestly, I've been working hard. I've been trying to, campaign for Republicans in my area where I am, and work with the establishment there. As long as I trust the candidate that I'm working for. I've been at that Republican house and been like, I'm not going to campaign for something I don't stand for and put my foot down. It's like, all right, well, you could just go do this, row this community. I mean, it's it's getting the vote out, it's getting the engine fired up, and hopefully we have a good midterm. That's all. I hope for.
So you're out there at you're helping the Republican Party. You've gone to your Republican headquarters.
I am on the campaign trail, absolutely. Grassroots. I mean, it came from within. Nobody told me to do this. I just woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm gonna fucking put myself out there and make it happen.
No, you should, man. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, this campaigning that you're doing right now, if you continue to do it and continue to be close to the candidates, you could be invited to the 2020 Republican convention, man.
Oh, I mean, they're like calling me nonstop. Not nonstop, but a couple times a week. It's like, all right, we want you, and can you do this for us? It's like, certainly, yeah, and it's amazing when you start working with these people, how much easier everybody makes their lives, because everybody does a little bit, and then everything goes, and all of a sudden you look, it's like, wow, we did a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially when you're helping the Republican Party.
Well, I mean, not too many people do these days. I mean, it's nothing violent. It's nothing, I mean, I've ran into people who are like, yeah, just slam the door in your face because you're saying you're with the Republicans, but beyond that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. It's just pure democracy and, just independent thought, freedom of thought. I mean, I'll talk to these people, and they're around my neighborhood,
Well, what are they saying?
Individuals just like you and me. Well, they're mostly agreeing with, the problems with the area, and they are they're actually a lot more smiles than doors slammed in my face. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
I think, and I live in a very liberal area. I'm in the megalopolis of, like, let's call it the Northeast, and that was all blue, right? Let's go from like New Jersey, New York, all the way to Maine. That was all blue. But I am seeing a lot of support for our president, Donald Trump.
Well, man, that's good, especially in the Northeast. You said in the Northeast.
Yeah, that's where I am. I mean, it's a long area. I'm not trying to dox myself out here on the interwebs, but I mean, I'm just saying I'm putting in the work. And if it weren't for your show, I would not be doing this today. I'll tell you that.
Well, hey, I'm glad that you did, and I'm sorry, whatever happened in the True Capitalist Radio chat room.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'll be back, after the election or whatever. I mean, we'll see how long your show keeps going on. You keep saying you're not going to come on, or you're going to end the show, and it's like you're going. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm just telling you, I'm a true capitalist. I'm not necessarily fully conservative. I mean, I do support, stuff like, gay marriage, and I'm a libertarian at heart. So, I mean, I still support Second Amendment, still support, you know, low taxes, fiscal conservatism, and you know what? I just want you to hear from me that, you know, you're doing good work, because you're inspiring people like me to get off their ass and go out and make shit happen. And I mean, if your show isn't monetizing you and supporting you, and just understand that you are inspiring people like me to go out and make shit happen.
Well, man, I thank you very much, man. And like I said, you know, sorry, I don't know what happened with the chat room, but I want to thank you for going out and campaigning for the Republicans and trying to do all you can, man. We need more guys like you, man.
Hey, you know, I mean, I'll come back after this whole thing is said and done, because I mean, I got a laundry list of shit I gotta do tomorrow and the day after. I mean, we're getting down to crunch time where we really got to get out there and you know, do everything we can to, you know, just help everybody out and make sure that we get a good clean election, and you know, most votes counted. You know, that's how you win.
I hear you. What do you think is the odds out there for you guys?
The odds out there, it's bad, man. I'd give us like maybe a 3-2 chance of you know, like.
Uh-oh.
But all right. You take care. I'm gonna hang up now.
All right, no problem. Thank you for calling.
God bless. God bless you. God bless Texas. God bless the True Capitalist Radio.
Thank you, man. Cheers, baby. Well, that was pretty good right there, man. That was pretty good. Thanks to that gentleman. I mean, said he was a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I don't know what happened, but let me tell you, there's a lot of drama when the True Capitalist Radio chat room first started, folks. Unfortunately, we had a lot of bronies, you know, we had a lot of people who like cartoons, you know, as sexualization. Don't ask. And we had to kind of weed these people out a little bit, you know what I mean? We had to kind of weed these people out, but I'm glad this gentleman has taken this show and he's going out there and going to his Republican headquarters and campaigning and doing whatever he can during his spare time, because believe it or not, that's what gets you invited to conventions. I mean, everybody asks, hey, Ghost, how do I get invited to the Republican convention? That's how you do it. You know, and I'm glad this guy's going out there, especially in the Northeast, wherever he is, and campaigning his ass off. I mean, we need more guys like this, especially young guys, especially you younger guys. I'm telling you, you younger guys that go and do some work for the Republican Party, you're going to be shocking people when you do door knockings and that sort of thing. And moreover, the more of you guys that have the same kind of mentality as Trump come on board and be able to take certain board positions and different type of bureaucratic positions within the Republican Party itself, you have power. Believe it or not, guys, the people that are in the Republican Party, that are in charge of the Republican Party, these people are major, major power. I mean, remember that one guy, what was it, in 2016, that went on CNBC saying, oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. The primaries don't mean anything about who's going to be the nominee. All right, it's what we want, okay? It's what we in the party want. So remember that, folks. You know, if you're big time in the party, whether it's even the Democrat or the Republican Party, if you're big time in the party, then you have power. And what makes it even more powerful, if you're that influential in the party, you can change the party rules. You can change the party platform. And once the rules in the platform are changed, then you can literally term limit people out of office. I mean, I don't want to get into the technicalities of that. I talked about that in 2016. But, folks, if you take over the parties, you take over the world, baby. Anyway, I want to thank that guy for calling up. If you want to call up and you're in the United States, Canada area, you can go ahead and give me a call right now at 800-685-7914. 800-685-7914, and it's 99 cents a minute, man. Okay, so it's helping the monetization of the broadcast. Right when you put your little credit card number in, and you'll be connected right instantaneously, like the last caller was. So we're trying this again. I want to say cheers to that last caller, and cheers to everybody else who happens to be calling in to the True Capitalist Radio chat room here. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and take let's take a little swig of some beer, to say the least. How about that? Oh, man, it feels great, man. It feels great. I know that the last caller was like, hey, Ghost, what are you talking about? You say you're going to quit drinking, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. What the hell? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm only human, baby. I'm only human. All right? I'm only goddamn human, for Christ's sake, man. And by the way, folks, you know that if you quit cold turkey and you have consumed alcohol on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, you could put yourself at risk. Like I said before, it's even more dangerous to quit alcohol than it is to quit heroin. I'm not even kidding around, man. It's fucking it's scary. It's scary to say the least. Anyway, man, where was I? Yeah, we were talking a little bit about Cory Booker and about how this son of a bitch should be retiring. He should be stepping down, since he was the guy that set the standard for Brett Kavanaugh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. You were putting Brett Kavanaugh on this moral standard there, Cory Booker. How come you can't live up to it? And by the way, I also have an article on Ghost.Report exposing this guy. He wrote an article in college while he was in Stanford admitting that he sexually assaulted some woman during, or not even a woman, a little girl, during the 1984 New Year's Eve. Go to Ghost.Report and not only read that, read a bunch of stuff. I know I need to be writing more and exposing more of the dirt from these people, and I'm going to, but man, I got a lot on my plate, baby. All right, I got a lot on my plate over here. I got a lot on my plate. Anyway, let me put in the remainder of this second beer here. Oh yeah. Woo! Anyway, folks, let me talk a little bit about Jamal Khashoggi, which is another black operation by CIA, or let's just put it this way. Y'all remember me talking about Khashoggi. Y'all remember me talking about John Brennan specifically, and how John Brennan was the former head of the CIA during the Barack Obama administration. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember that?
You are now connected.
Oh, here's somebody right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the air.
Good evening, Ghost. This is T.N. Apostle. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How are you doing, man? What you got to say to us tonight, and thank you for calling.
Well, just want to say to everyone, all the capitalists out there, keep at it, making yourselves make America great again. So currently right now, still on the job here in West Texas. Everything's muddy and a turf float out here, so I'm just waiting my turn to get unloaded.
No.
But just wanted to call and been listening to your show for a good couple of years now, so you motivated me to start my own business. So here next week, I'm going to be quitting my job here in Texas, but I'll be getting my own one-ton pickup and running hot shots out of Tennessee.
Oh, man, congratulations, man. I mean, that's what you should do, man. I mean, congratulations to that. Much props, baby. Much props.
So, also, everyone look up. I know this politician named Phil Bredesen out of fucking Tennessee. Yeah, even some Democrats think he's off his rocker. So this dude thinks that MS-13 is not a threat and are not dangerous. So, I mean, they're starting to infest in Nashville. I think it's kind of funny. So now we got all these got the migrant movement come down from El Salvador and Honduras and all that crap. So probably picking up, more of those members on the way to infest our country.
What was the politician's name again that is pro-MS-13? Say it really clear so everybody knows.
Phil Bredesen. So he's running for U.S. Senate in Tennessee.
Well, thank you for informing us about that, man, because we don't want anybody pro-MS-13, man.
No, hell no. All right, man. Well, I got to get going here. But thank you very much. And everyone, keep at it. Happy Baller Friday.
Hey, thank you. Happy Baller Friday. And thank you for calling, man. I really appreciate it. Once again, we're celebrating this Baller Friday, opening up the monetization phone line, man, which is a hell of a lot better than if you want my opinion, any kind of super chat or any kind of Streamlabs or any of that. Unfortunately, this is only exclusive to the people in the United States and Canada. If you are in the United States and Canada region, you can go ahead and give me a call at 800-685-7914. All right? Free Format Friday. That's what we're witnessing right now. Now, I was going to talk about Jamal Khashoggi, right? Jamal Khashoggi, folks, was nothing more than the John Brennan, the ex-CIA during the Obama administration, his faction, and there's still many of them in the CIA, in opposition to the new directive that is coming out from the current administration under Donald Trump. Now, lest we forget, folks, I keep telling people that this whole jihadist movement was created mostly by the United States Black Operation CIA. It goes back to the Russian-Afghanistan war. And who was the one? I mean, even though we were training these jihadists that were coming from Syria, coming from Egypt, that were coming from Saudi Arabia, who was the one that was motivating the Mujahideen, that was romanticizing jihad in Afghanistan against Russia? It was nothing more than Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi was the man that was writing these provocative articles that were inspiring these young jihadists out there in the Middle East. Jamal Khashoggi. And you see, I find it ironic that Khashoggi ends up dead because, lest we forget, he was pro-Wahhabist. He was a devout, loyal member of the previous two Saudi Arabian kingdoms. And I told you that the two previous Saudi Arabian kingdoms, folks, Fayed and Abdullah, these guys were pro-Wahhabists. Their family circulated money to all the jihadist movements all over the world. They were the ones that funded the madrasas in Indonesia. They funded the madrasas that were in Pakistan. I mean, right now, folks, the Philippines and Indonesia is having a very hard time with these Islamic extremists in that part of the world. And who funded that? It was Saudi Arabia's previous two kingdoms. Now, why am I defending Saudi Arabia now, folks? Because if you take a look at what's happening on the global scale, the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt have a pact. They have a pact against the rest of the world, which comprises of the New World Order pre-Trump. And that includes the Chinese, the Russians, the Europeans, etc. And what is the New World Order? I mean, you always heard Alex Jones. You always heard a lot of people talking about the New World Order. It's about people consolidating power on a globalist front. Consolidating power. Meaning that they want to get rid of nation states so that those nation states become a thing of antiquity. And if you want to take a good look at an example of what I'm discussing, take a look at the European Union. Take a look at all the former nation states. And why do I say former nation states? Because they are going to be nothing more here in the next 5 years, possibly sooner. And what helped create the dissolution of the boundaries, of the barriers, of the borders, of the nation states of the European Union? The migrant crisis, folks. That's why you have Donald Trump invoking Europe when he talks about this migrant caravan that's headed towards the United States southern border. That's why he says we're not going to be Europe. We are not going to be Europe, for Christ's sake. Anyway, folks, that's what globalization is. Globalism is communism. I keep saying this, but it bears repeating. What was the last country to call itself a union? It was the Soviet Union, the first communist nation state. That's why the European Union is acting so communist. And if you take a look, folks, the African Union has already been put together. Why don't you look up the African Union? There's only 2 countries that are not a part of the African Union. I believe it's Nigeria and I forgot the other country. But all the other countries on the African continent have consolidated and agreed that they are the African Union. Remember when I'm talking about George Bush Jr., Vicente Fox, and the other fucking Prime Minister of Canada. Remember when they signed the North American Union? We were talking about that back about 10 years ago, and we were that close to becoming a North American Union, folks. That's what NAFTA was all about. That's what all these security agreements that George Bush and Vicente Fox and the Canadian Prime Minister was all about. Why do you think Vicente Fox was so vocal, the fucking ex-Mexican president? Why do you think he was so vocal during the 2016 presidential election? Remember? Hey, we're not going to pay for that fucking wall. Go fuck yourself. We are not going to pay for the wall. He's a globalist, man. He's a goddamn globalist. Anyway, folks, we are now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in with me. Before we get started, folks, I want to remind everybody, we're already 3 hours in, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ, I think we are. We're in our third hour. Anyway, before I get into anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire. All right, spread it around like wildfire. The official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is ghost.report, baby. Ghost.report is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, by the way, if you want to follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, it's on Gab, folks, all right? And if you don't have yourself a free Gab account, well, then I strongly advise you to get yourself one. And once you do, go ahead and follow me under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. Politics Ghost, baby. And by the way, I got to give some shout-outs to the people that are in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I keep forgetting. Let me take a swig of beer here. I keep forgetting. And I am going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room right after this broadcast, baby. All right, give me about 25, 30 minutes. I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. We'll be chatting. We'll be conducting ourselves in some tomfoolery. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see what happens, you know. Some of these guys want me to call the Dateline again. Remember I called the Dateline? Remember that episode? Anyway, we'll see what happens. If you want to come kick back with us in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you've got to do is go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and click the subscribe button for premium content. Click the subscribe button for premium content. And remember, ignore the test tier. Ignore the test tier. Just go ahead and subscribe to the one, you know, that's for $4.99. And once you do, go ahead and private message me on Gab. And let me know your Discord chat name, because that's where the chat room is. And once you do, I will private message you back on Gab with your private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple, all right? And by the way, whoever's listening out there, you can call me right now and be live on the air. You saw how easy it was. You have to be in the United States or Canada only. And I'm sorry to you international guys, my apologies, but it's just, you know, it's phone networking. I don't know. Anyway, if you're in the U.S. and Canada and want to be live and call in right now, go ahead. 800-685-7914. The number again is 800-685-7914, and it's 99 cents a minute, okay? 99 cents a minute. And, you know, that is cheap, if you want my personal opinion, man. I watch these goddamn in-real-life streamers that are on YouTube, for Christ's sake, that are charging like $5 for their fucking super chat. Give me a fucking break, man. That's just highway robbery, for heaven's sake. You call up, you can go ahead and you know, you're paying. You can say whatever the hell you want. And by the way, this goes to you people that hate me. You people that hate me out here, by all means, you know, give me a call right now. Tell me why you hate me. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm a bad guy, 800-685-7914. And by the way, that phone line is always going to be open. So even if the broadcast is not on, you can call me up at any time of the day, for Christ's sake, man. I'm not even joking around. All right, I'm going to keep that on 24/7. 24/7 is what we're going to do on that line. So if I happen to be live on the broadcast, you can give me a call, and you can be live on the broadcast, or you can just, you know, you can call me on the DL, all right? You can just kind of be like, hey, Ghost, what's going on, man? I need your advice on something, dude. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just doing this, and... Once again, 800-685-7914. United States and Canada only, okay? Anyway, let me drink some more beer, for Christ's sake. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to have a loose Friday night here. I mean, we all know that this damn world out here is just, it's evil. It's an evil place. And once you know the evilness of this place, baby, I mean, it's just you gotta face up to it, and you gotta live up to it. And you know, if it takes a little bit of alcohol to try to prevent you from, you know, going a little bit of woo-hoo-hoo, well, then that's what it's gonna take. All right, that's all there is to it. All right. Anyway, Jamal Khashoggi, this guy, not only was he the man that inspired the Mujahideen, which ended up fighting the Russians during the Afghan-Russian War, Jamal Khashoggi was the guy who invented the legend of one Abu Abdullah, a.k.a. Osama bin Laden. And if you don't believe me, let me repost the article again from the 80s. Here it is. Take a look at my gab right now. Take a look at my gab right now. There is the full article right there on my gab right now. And if you take a look at the upper right-hand corner, who is that? Who is that at the upper right-hand corner? That's none other than Abu Abdullah, a.k.a. Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden. It was Jamal Khashoggi that created the legend of Osama bin Laden. I mean, take a look at him at the upper left-hand corner. He is the guy. I'm talking about Jamal Khashoggi. He's the guy at the upper left-hand corner with the rocket-propelled grenade on his goddamn shoulder. And he's supposed to be some kind of a guy that we're supposed to mourn over? Give me a fucking break. As a matter of fact, I've even got something even better. Let's listen to Jamal Khashoggi right before he died. This particular audio that I'm about to play for you is Jamal Khashoggi months before he died. Now, why did I say that Khashoggi was killed? Khashoggi was killed because Khashoggi was trying to use his influence, his journalist influence, which... Remember, folks, in the 80s, his journalist influence organized the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. His journalism encouraged a bunch of Arab youths to leave Syria, to leave Egypt, to leave Saudi Arabia, or wherever they lived in the Middle East, to leave there and go to Afghanistan so they can commit jihad. It's in the article I just gabbed right now. Take a look at my gab. Anyway, folks, this right here is of Jamal Khashoggi. It's his actual voice. Months before he was eliminated. Let's just put it that way. And I want you to listen to what he's advocating. Because remember, Jamal Khashoggi was loyal to the previous two Saudi Arabian kingdoms. And why was he loyal to the previous two Saudi Arabian kingdoms? Because they were Wahhabists. They were Wahhabists, for Christ's sake, man. I want you to listen to Jamal Khashoggi in his own words. Listen to what he says. This was months before he was killed. And remember, Jamal Khashoggi was trying to write articles against the current Saudi Arabian kingdom that is ran by Mohammed bin Salman. And Mohammed bin Salman, I'm going to say this over and over and over and over again, was against Wahhabism. He's against the previous two kingdoms. If you take a look at the Saudi purge, you dumbasses, why don't you Google up Saudi purge? Google Saudi purge and take a look at how many people were purged from the Saudi Arabian kingdom, and you will read the words or the names Bin Laden, Al-Walid, Bandar, Prince Bandar, which was Bandar Bush. We've already talked about Bandar Bush. I mean, I'm just saying, man. I mean, right now, Mohammed bin Salman is against the previous two kingdoms of Saudi Arabia. And right now, you've got the people that are globalists trying to use the evilness of the two previous kingdoms of Saudi Arabia against the current kingdom, which is completely against the two kingdoms of the old. Remember, we've got Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, trying to create a secular aspect of Saudi Arabia. He's not Wahhabist. He's trying to create a secular aspect of Saudi Arabia. And guess who hated that? Guess who hated secularism, where women can drive again? Or they never drove to begin with in Saudi Arabia, but they're driving for the first time in their lives. I mean, Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince, has done a whole bunch of things to reform the old Saudi Arabian Wahhabist kingdom. Well, why don't you take a look and listen to how Jamal Khashoggi, this fucking Wahhabist that everybody is mourning over right now, why don't you take a listen to what he said about Mohammed bin Salman and the current secularism that he's trying to implement on the kingdom. Listen to Jamal Khashoggi. And these words were recorded by the Washington Post themselves, and they actually released this on YouTube. Take a listen right now. Go ahead and put it on, engineer. Listen to it. Here it is. Jamal Khashoggi. His own words. Listen to him. Listen. Listen to the whole thing.
Saudi Arabia is a country with 20 million people population. 2/3 of them are young, less than 30 years old.
Yeah.
And Mohammed bin Salman is putting all issues, economic, religion, in Saudi Arabia on fast forward. We should remember, Saudi Arabia was established as an Islamic state. It was established by the sword of religion.
It's on the flag.
Yes, it was never a secular state. It was always ruled by Sharia. It is the last country on earth that is ruled by Sharia. We used to brag about that. King Fahd created another formula, is to have two parallel Saudi Arabia, a religious Saudi Arabia and a liberal Saudi Arabia. That did not work either.
Yeah.
Mohammed bin Salman is maybe he came to settle this issue. We don't know yet how, But he is trying to settle this issue. That is, I could describe it as a 100-year-old question. What Islam? What is the role of Islam? And now he is going to the Dubai model. That less Islam and allow people social freedom and no political freedom. Even some people who do not disagree with my writing, they will say to me, but it is not the right time to say it. They are not challenging what I'm saying. They are just saying, at this time we have to be supportive. We are far away from democracy. Democracy in America and Finland and Denmark, it humbled the leaders. It makes the leader accountable to the smallest person in the street. Yep. Our leaders, no. They see.
Shut up.
See
you see the contradiction that I'm trying to highlight in this son of a bitch? The contradiction is that what is the first thing that comes out of Khashoggi's mouth? Huh? We are Sharia. We are Sharia. That's what Saudi Arabia is, Sharia. That's what he is all about, folks. He's a fucking Wahhabist. He's a Wahhabist. And at the same time, because he's somewhat educated, he's trying to say, this is not democracy. Remember, democracy humbled the democracy. Shut the fuck up. You can't say that, oh, I'm going to criticize Saudi Arabia because they're not full-fledged democracies, when at the same time you are trying to advocate Sharia, Sharia. We are always Sharia. We were never secular. We were always Sharia. This is what I'm saying, man. This guy's a fucking nutcase. And yet, you've actually got people that are trying to mourn this son of a bitch. If you're going to be mourning Jamal Khashoggi, you might as well be mourning Osama bin Laden. I'm not even kidding around. I mean, you might as well be mourning Osama bin Laden. I mean, Jamal Khashoggi invented, it was his writing of Osama bin Laden, a.k.a. Abu Abdullah, during the Mujahideen against the damn Russians is what created the legend of Osama bin Laden, man. This guy created the legend of Osama bin Laden. How come nobody sees that shit? How come? I'm asking. How come nobody sees that shit? Good God, man. I hope you all understand that Jamal Khashoggi represents the old faction of the CIA. And I'm talking about John Brennan, who was the former head of the CIA during the Obama administration, and CIA previous to John Brennan. They represent this old faction that actually did business with the old Saudi Arabian kingdoms. This is a new Saudi Arabian kingdom, folks. And they're being used, or let's just put it this way. The pact that the United States has is with not only us, the United States has a pact with Saudi Arabia and Egypt. And what are we doing right now? We're trying to antagonize Saudi Arabia and Iran so that Iran and Saudi Arabia can have a battle with one another. And that's what's been happening. Remember, I said this was going to happen. This was the new policy. This was the new policy to pit Saudi Arabia against Iran. And that's why, folks, if you want the truth to be told, that Barack Obama's administration was so tight with Iran. Why do you think he gave them that ridiculous nuclear deal that was nothing more than a payoff? I don't understand why anybody isn't as pissed as the president, isn't as pissed as me at that ridiculous, disgusting nuclear deal. It was a payoff, folks. I mean, just like the president said, Barack Obama gave $1.5 billion, actually $2 billion in cash. $2 billion in cold, hard cash, basically air-flown to Saudi Arabia, or to Iran, $2.5 billion was flown into Saudi Arabia. And then we deposited what was it, 150 billion, 200 billion? I don't know. I don't even know how much it was. So that Iran could pause, not just completely stop forever, but pause their nuclear endeavors. Who was Barack Obama paying in Iran? And, we talked about this, folks. We talked about how rogue FBI guy, Peter Strzok. Remember Peter Strzok? He was not only brought up in Iran, his father was living in Iran. Peter Strzok Sr., remember we talked about that? You think that's a coinkydink? And then from young Peter Strzok being brought up in Iran, they moved to Saudi Arabia. And what did I tell you about Saudi Arabia? CIA Central, baby. The only reason why everybody is going after not only Trump, but then now they're going after Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince. They're going after Mohammed bin Salman because they don't want the success. They don't want the success of Mohammed bin Salman secularizing not only Saudi Arabia, but literally trying to make the Middle East subdued under their rule. Because that's what Iran's trying to do right now, folks. Right now we are seeing a goddamn battle for the Middle East between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Why do you think Iran has all these terrorist satellites all over the world? Hezbollah in Lebanon. They also got fighters in Syria. They've got the Houthis in Yemen. I mean, you understand what I'm saying, folks? I mean, I think people need to understand what's going on here, man. I'm telling you, what's happening is that the pact between Trump, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt, we are going against the old global order. Going against the old global order. The old global order. Because why? Because we're trying, and what I mean we, I'm talking about those of us that are on the Trump side. We're trying to assert our global order. And it has nothing to do with these ridiculous international bureaucracies. It has nothing to do with the United Nations. It has nothing to do with the World Court. It has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with the elimination of culture. It has nothing to do with the elimination of race. It has nothing to do with all this communist variance that are being subjected on those that are obliging socialism worldwide, or communism, whatever variant you want to fucking call it. There's a black operation war, folks. And I think everybody needs to understand that ISIS, as you know it, ISIS, remember, they were used against us. They were used against United States interests. Why? Because it was John Brennan running the show back when Barack Obama was president. Remember, John Brennan was the head of the CIA. And remember, when Barack Obama was president, he couldn't stop ISIS. Remember? And every time that he would comment about ISIS, he would, that's just a JV team, dude. That's just don't worry about it. ISIS is nothing, dude. And meanwhile, ISIS was running amok all over the fucking Middle East, slicing the heads off Christians. I mean, do you understand? That's what this is about, folks. That's why John Brennan and his faction of the rogue CIA agents, and not just CIA agents, folks, it's black ops, it's deep state, it's political think tanks. All these people that comprise this New World Order, that's why they're against Trump, man. That's why they're against Trump, and we, the people, we should back up Trump wholeheartedly, man. This is the only president in our lifetimes that have attempted, that not only attempted, was successful in stopping the absolute takeover of the United States. We were just about to lose our sovereignty. If Hillary Clinton was elected, we would have no more United States of America. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Anyway, if you have something to say, if you don't agree with me, if you think I'm loco, I challenge you. If you got something positive to say, I don't care. Give me a call right now. If you're in the United States and Canada only, unfortunately, United States and Canada, you can call me at 800-685-7914. The number again is 800-685-7914. It is 99 cents a minute. That's it. That's cheaper than text-to-speech that you see on these stupid YouTube channels and these Twitch channels, for Christ's sake. So once again, if you want something, you're going to be live on the air. I mean, right when you put in your credit card number and it goes through, you're going to be live on the air. 800-685-7914. And look, if you don't like me, then bring it on. Bring it the fuck on if you don't like me. Bring it on! Bring it the fuck on! I dare you. I'd make you all, if you think that you could fucking try to, put me in some kind of political corner, I will make you look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. You understand, you socialist slonghead sucking, anal secretion having, trans-testicle turd burglar looking, sphincter fingering, cuckold connoisseur, phallic fluffing, belch breathing, urinal cake curator? You understand that? I'm telling you, I'm not even joking around anymore. All right? I'm not. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to tell you guys what's going on out here. Nobody wants to listen to the fucking truth anymore. Everybody just wants to have some happy-go-lucky perspective, isn't it? Huh? Jesus Christ. Let me drink some beer here. And by the way, I'm looking at the news right now, and guess what? FBI director shoots down mail bomber conspiracy theories. Quote, these are not hoax devices. Who the fuck are you trying to fool, Director Ray? This proves that these people are a part of it, for fuck's sake, man. I mean, that fucking device was faker than a fucking... That was faker than a goddamn Cher's face. That's faker than the nose on Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi, for Christ's sake, man. Come on!
FBI says that these package bombs, these were not hoaxes, okay? So you have to take it serious. So that means that you have to have compassion to all the Democrats these were mailed to that were advocating violence. You got to take it serious. Man, I'm telling you, Christopher Wray, the FBI, you should be disbanded. You should be disbanded. You're not out there to serve and protect. You're not out there to protect the American people. You all are a corrupt entity, and I think that there needs to be some kind of a elimination of the FBI. I'm not even kidding around. Give it to Homeland Security. I'm not kidding. FBI, they were politicized, and at the highest levels, Comey, McCabe, Peter Strzok, all three of those guys were the top three guys of the FBI. Comey was the FBI director. McCabe was the deputy FBI director. Peter Strzok was head of counterintelligence. These were the top three guys in the FBI. And they colluded with each other to politicize the FBI in an attempt to remove a duly elected president. And you see, FBI Director Christopher Wray, he is institutionally bounded to prevent that information from going public. That's why he's got to go along with this ridiculous hoax, and it is a hoax, Director Wray. It is a fucking hoax. Those bombs wouldn't fool anybody. How the hell can you pull these things out of the goddamn manila envelope? They don't go off, and the first thing you want to do is take a fucking picture of it. Why don't you explain that to me, you fucking faggot? Explain that! Oh, I just pulled this bomb out of this bag. Here, let me take a fucking photo of it, and let me just fucking put it, let me give it to fucking New York Times. You fucking idiots, for Christ's sake. Oh, you think we're this stupid, man? I'm telling you, the FBI is a fucking disgrace, all right? You're a fucking disgrace to the FBI. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if they try to raid my fucking place one day and try to fucking hook me up with some fake fucking charge. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to know why? They don't like it when you fucking call them out for their false flags. You know, with their Caesar SIA crap. Get the fuck out of here. They caught this guy living. He was living out of a van in Broward County. Broward County, the same county that was fucking Parkland shootings. And what happened after the Parkland shootings? You got David Hogg. David Hogg? Who was his father? Who was David Hogg's father? The little faggot that's like claiming anti-gun. Who was David Hogg's father? Some bigwig in what? The FBI. Some bigwig in the fucking FBI, for Christ's sake. Go fuck yourself, man. I'm not even kidding around, man. I can't believe people can't even fucking see this. Jesus Christ. And look, you know who's taking a page out of the United States Democrat bullshit false flag playbook? People in Brazil that are communists and leftists that are trying to bring down Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro, you know, the guy that we're trying to advocate for out there in Brazil, who's going to fucking kill communists? They're trying to use that against him because these communists know their days are fucking numbered, and they should be. Fucking piece of crap. Fucking hate communists, man. I fucking hate them, all right? All right, I fucking hate communists. I hate socialists. They shouldn't even be comfortable enough to be able to say they're communists and socialists in this country. I think it's a fucking tragedy that communists and socialists can walk the streets in America and be fucking safe as a goddamn puppy, for Christ's sake. It makes me fucking it makes me fucking want to puke. Give me my fucking beer. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Anyway, look, I'm going to get off here in about, in about 20 minutes. By all means, man, anyone else that wants, if you're in the Canada or United States region, 800-685-7914. You can be on the air right now. 99 cents a minute. It's the only way I can monetize the son of a bitch. All right? I see assholes that are doing dumb shit on YouTube that are getting $5 every couple of minutes because of some shitty fucking super chat. How do you think... look, I don't want to talk about it. That's why I was talking shit about Metacore, remember? And I don't mean to talk shit about Metacore. I got a little hasty, all right? Remember, I was like, $5,000 on Patreon. I mean, I was a little hasty on the guy. Luckily, he gave me a little bit of appreciation, which is all Ghost is asking for. And that's all I'm asking for. I'm just asking for a little appreciation. All these faggots, and I want to be honest with you folks, a lot of these pieces of shit that are E-celebs out here, these E-right-wing celebs, they used to listen to this broadcast. They used to listen to this broadcast in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. They used to listen to this fucking broadcast, and they don't give any fucking appreciation, and that's why I'm saying fuck you to all these fucking E-right-wing celebs. Now, once again, I'm glad that, Metacore, just gave a little appreciation. I appreciate it. That's all I fucking asked for. I do want to talk a little bit about this Metacore situation. Now, I hear that he got doxxed and... they've, DDoSed him and all this other nonsense. A bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff. They DDoSed him, they doxed him, and what I don't understand is why would anybody want to dox Metacore first and foremost? Other than the fact that he makes fun of furries and makes fun of tards and... I mean, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit who the hell goddamn... Mr. Metacore is. I mean, if people appreciate his content and they understand that, hey, look, I don't really want to know who he is. I don't need to know who he is to appreciate the content. Then why dox him? And I'm tired of all this doxing bullshit. It's pathetic. I mean, now leftists are doing. Look, I want to be honest with you. I'm going to be candid. I hate to believe that I and this show had something to do with the whole doxing phenomena. I hate to say that, because remember the troll wars of goddamn 2010, 2011, for fuck's sake? Just saying, I would hate to think that. Now, believe it or not, doxing could get you arrested. Can you believe that shit? Had I known this, all these idiots that have thrown all these fake doxes of me, I would have called them. I would have called the cops and got them arrested. Had I known that shit, man. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. As a matter of fact, I need another fucking shot, for Christ's sake. All right, we only got about 20 minutes left anyway, man. We got about 20 minutes left. I feel like drinking. You know, I'm feeling great. It's a Baller Friday. I hope that you're fucking listening. If not, I hope that you're doing some fucking broads. I hope that you're having a great time, because if you're not, well, I hope that you're having a great time listening to this broadcast. Anyway, 800-685-7914 if you want to call. And, you know, if you're a troll and you hate me, you know, bring it on. Bring it the fuck on. Let me have another shot of this son of a bitch. I don't have a shot glass, so I'm shooting it right out the bottle, baby. I'm shooting it right out the bottle like a gangster. Anyway, here, hold on. We got people on the True Capitalist Radio Gab here. Oh, Jesus Christ, a bunch of trolls, for Christ's sake. I do want to say something, since I've got everybody here that are true listeners to the broadcast. I really do appreciate the way the broadcast is turned. I'm not even going to kid around with you guys. I'm glad that we're a lot more serious. I'm glad that people understand that we're not living in some fucking, you know, piece of shit fucking la-la land. And that the only way that we're going to change anything is that if each and every one of us contributes to fucking forcing the change. Forcing the fucking change. Forcing the change in this goddamn government. Whatever it is. Whether it's an American government or you're in another country, man. Because I'm looking at, there's a lot of countries that, look, there's a lot of people from Chile. What's going on to Chile? Argentina! What's going on to Argentina? Saudi Arabia is listening in. Canada's listening in. The United States is listening in. Folks from Australia are listening in. I mean, regardless of where you are in the world, man, you need to take what I'm saying on this broadcast and do what you have to do to either take over the institutions of government so that you can assert capitalism, or if these goddamn governments are so oppressive, then maybe it's time for you to write your own history. Those of you in countries with oppressive socialist or communist regimes, maybe it's time for you to start organizing. Maybe it's time for you to start causing revolutionary change. And remember, this life is but a dream. This life is but a dream. And if you go out there, okay, if you go out there and you're successful in changing your country, then everything's all worth it, man. Every one of the people are going to look at you as some fearless person. Because that's what you have to do when you want to change the world, man. You have to be fucking fearless. You got to be somebody who's not afraid of anything. You know? And death ain't no thing. You got to think of it like brushing your shoulders off, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, here, man, let me take another chug of this beer here. I'm already 4 beers in, 2 shots in. There's like a little less than, a little more than 15 minutes left in the broadcast. I'm having a great Baller Friday. Let's go ahead and put some fucking more beer! How about some of that, huh? How about a little bit of that? How about a little bit of more beer up in this son of a bitch?
And believe it or not, folks, I know that I was trying to curb alcohol. I am. I'm not drinking every day. You know, I'm not trying to do that anymore. But I'm going to slowly but surely try to wean myself out of alcohol, because once again, trying to stop alcohol is most dangerous. It's dangerous. Can have seizures and shit. Here's the first beer. Oh, yeah. I really do like beer. I'm sorry, man. I mean, Brett Kavanaugh, we got a drink. I mean, that would be gangster, wouldn't it, man? Just fucking drinking with Brett Kavanaugh, you know? And not in like a public bar, because, you know, you don't want Brett Kavanaugh to be exposed at a public bar or anything. Like, you know, like a fucking nice, badass home bar with a bunch of neons. You know, you got a fucking couple of beer taps going on. You got a full stock bar, you know, just kicking back right there. And just drinking with Brett Kavanaugh, you know? And then telling Brett Kavanaugh, you know what, Brett? I like beer too, baby. I like beer! I like fucking beer! Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and end the show with a little bit of gab, and since nobody's calling, you know? And I appreciate the guys that have called. I want to be honest with you. Thank you guys very much. For hooking it up with a call. If you do want to call before the show is over, 800-685-7914. And by the way, I'm going to keep that line open, so even after the show, if you want to call me for whatever reason, you need help, you need some advice, you know, anything of that nature, 99 cents a minute, man. 800-685-7914. For all you fucking people that want to interview me, I got a lot of fucking independent online publications and a bunch of independent YouTubers, all bunch of people that want to interview me. You want to interview me, you give me a call, and I'll answer as many questions as I feel like it, all right? 800-685-7914, 99 cents a minute. It's as simple as that. You couldn't get any fucking cheaper, man. You couldn't get any fucking cheaper. Anyway, I want to say cheers to everybody out there who's listening to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It's pretty late Friday night. I am going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, so if you want to get there, baby. Anyway, let's get some gab questions. Let's get some goddamn questions in the chat room. Let's do this. All right, let's do this. Before I do it, let me go ahead and take this swig here. That's good. Very, very good. Is this thing on, for Christ's sake? Is this goddamn thing on? Hello? I was talking like, some immigrant mail-order bride, you know? I know I've been pro mail-order bride with folks out there, you know, suggesting that if there's not going to be an American woman, well, then, by God, get yourself a mail-order bride. And if you're going to get yourself a mail-order bride from Asia, you got to teach her a couple of things. One of the things you got to teach her is it's not hero, it's hello. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not hero, it's hello. And not to mention these, these Asians, they're like pocket wives. You know, it's like they're so small, they're like 4'10". You know, you can put them in your pocket. You know what I mean? You want them to, tongue your sack. You just pull them out of your... Yeah, never mind. Anyway, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm already fucking drunk, man. Thanks a lot, guys. I was expecting a little bit more interaction here. You know, it's fucking Friday. I was expecting a little fucking more interaction, a little more fucking questions, a little more something, for Christ's sake. I'm over here drinking. I'm trying to have a good time. Good God. Anyway, let me give it a couple more minutes, and if there's nobody asking questions, ain't nobody doing anything, then I am out of here! I am out! I am fucking out! I'm out of here! I'm out! You dog-farting fetish, cuckold connoisseur, Cincinnati bow tie receiving, dirty Sanchez loving, rusty trombone playing, gender fluid fondling, pansexual Peter Puffer pieces of goddamn shit? Huh? How do you like that shit? How do you like that?
It's like a Democrat trying to do some black operation so that you can win sympathy. That's what it sounds like. Fucking pieces of shit. I can't believe these Democrats. I can't believe it. I can't believe them, man. I'm not even kidding around. I can't even believe them. Jesus Christ. Anyway, how would you argue against the, quote, capitalist death toll? What are you talking about? The capitalist death toll. What the hell does that mean? That's some fucking leftist faggotry, if I've ever heard it in my life, the capitalist death toll. What about the communist death toll? How about that? How about the fucking, 80 million that fucking Mao Zedong killed? The fucking 60 million that Stalin killed? Huh? The fucking 1.5 million that was killed in Cambodia by Pol Pot? I mean, give me a fucking break, man. How can we get rid of corrupt Democrats? First of all, we've got to vote them out. Okay? You got to go to the ballot box and vote them out. Remember, if there's enough of us out there, and Donald Trump's election proves it, folks. I mean, they can't pull the wool over our eyes and try to attempt to say that somebody won an election when they didn't. If enough of us are out there, and we're out there pulling for a candidate, a subject, an issue, and there's so many of us in the United States pulling for it, there's no way they can stop us. That's why they had to elect Donald Trump, and that's why they pulled this big, huge conspiracy to try to remove him from office, for Christ's sake. Do you think the deep state will ever initiate an extraterrestrial false flag? I don't think that it'll be anytime soon, if you want my personal opinion, because if they were, they would have to be certain that the United States was no longer a sovereign state. Was no longer a sovereign state, because if every sovereignty of every country was already dedicated to a union, like the European Union, the African Union, that's when they can pull it off, because they already have control of the world itself. So if they have control of the world, that's when they can just go ahead and, pull off whatever the hell they want. The only reason why they can't pull off the great false flags elsewhere in the world outside the United States is because we still have thought. We still have the freedom of speech here in this country. We have the internet. We have avenues like this broadcast that will give the truth to those that are in the international community, for Christ's sake. They can't stop it. The only time they can stop it is if they regulate the internet. And that's why I'm trying to tell each and every one of you to prevent the goddamn censorship of the internet. I've been trying to tell you ever since they censored me. They censored me on MySpace back in 2008 because I was an anti-feminist. They've silenced me on Twitter. They've silenced me on transaction companies. They've silenced me on social media. They've silenced me everywhere, for Christ's sake. And I told you, when they silenced me, it was going to be a slippery slope for silencing each and every one of you. Remember when they silenced me back in 2016, for Christ's sake? I told you, this was just a precursor to silence you. To silence you. Anyway, I don't see anybody who is asking questions. I got to get out of here. I don't blame you guys. It's Friday. You should be going out banging broads. You should be going out to the bar, seeing if you get lucky. And if you don't, man, why don't you go hang out and have a good time with the boys? Talk about sports and shit. Talk about something manly. Talking about fucking hard labor or something. Talk about chicks, whatever. I get it. All right? Go out there and do what you got to do. Try to meet some women. All right? I'm going to get the hell out of here, but before I get out of here, I want to say thank you to everybody who's listening to True Capitalist Radio, whether you're in the United States or throughout the world. I really appreciate each and every one of you listening, man. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are listening to the underground. You are listening to the underground. And that's why I try to implore you, I beg you, please, spread this show link around like wildfire, okay?
Spread this show link around like wildfire, and the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is the following: ghost.report. That's all you've got to type in your browser right now, ghost.report. Add that to your bookmarks, add that to your favorites, and spread it around throughout the world. And by the way, if you want to follow me on Gab, go ahead and get yourself a free Gab account, and do so by following me under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you've got to do is the following, okay? Go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, and click the subscribe button for premium content. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, go ahead and private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room Discord. It's that damn simple. Anyway, I got to get the hell out of here. I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room tonight. Give me about 25, 30 minutes. I will be in there. I hope to see you in there too. I want to say thank you for tuning in with me on this later Baller Friday. I will be back Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas U.S. time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, ghost.report. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here, and you know what time it is, right? Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. Happy Baller Friday to all the capitalists out there, and do not believe the false flags by the Democrats, by the FBI, by the DOJ, by the CIA. Don't believe it! Don't believe it! This is anti-globalist, you fucking anti-nationalist scum! These people are fucking globalists trying to infiltrate our sovereignty, and we can't let them. The hell with globalists! Down with globalism! Anti-globalism, baby! Woo!